Nope, 10 seconds.
Relax.
Well, people are expecting it to start at 7, so they want to miss the first 10 seconds, right? Okay, I'm good. All right. Good evening and welcome to the May 14th, 2026 regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission held at 7 p.m. in room 133 of the Brookfield Town Hall and streamed live on YouTube. Please rise if you are able to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, I'll have the members of the Planning and Zoning Commission present here this evening introduce themselves, starting from my left.
Anicio Fontana, voting member tonight.
Greg Petroni, regular member.
Anthony Papucci, Secretary.
Kurt Timmerman, Chair.
Scott Dale, Vice Chair.
Mark Loengart, regular member.
Elliot Morales, alternate member.
All right, we're also present this evening is our Land Use Director, Laura Brakowski, and our Recording Secretary, Elizabeth Adams. As Mr. Fontana said, he's a voting member tonight, and until our last permanent member comes in, our regular member comes in, Elliot Morales will be voting. Copies of the agenda up here on the table. Feel free to take one, and also on the town website. All right, so the first thing is the review of the minutes of the previous meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? All right, I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from April 23rd, 2026.
Thank you, Tony.
Second it.
Thank you, Danny. And any amendments or anything? Any corrections? No? All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, nays? No nays? And any abstentions?
I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
All right, thank you, Mark. All right, let's see. Review correspondence. I just want to mention one thing I did get, and I was going to mention it to our CEO, but he's not here tonight. But I had gotten a letter from 33 Ironworks Road about some drainage and stuff, so maybe next time Fran Lally can talk about it. But this is a typical sort of thing where there was some work being done on the neighbor's yard, and there's runoff and drainage and flooding happening to this person at 33 Ironworks Road, plus commercial vehicles and on-site blight, and lighting issues as well. So it would be an interesting thing to go over what regulations apply to something like this. There have been violations that have been, complaints that have been filed with the Land Use Office, so we can go over that next time. I just wanted to bring that up since I did receive that correspondence. All right, the next thing is continue public hearings for a 100 Pocono Road, Z-26-14. It's put in by our commission. Text amendment application for amendments to zoning regulations 2.2 and 3.19 for short-term regulations. This is a continuation of a public hearing that was opened at our last meeting, so the same rules apply. Those rules being that, let's see, that we present the application, and then we ask for questions of clarification from both the commissioners and the audience. This is just an overview. And then we ask for people who are in favor, followed by those who are against. And then if we choose to do so after receiving all the information, we can close the public hearing and then go into deliberations at some point in the future. Since we brought this application to ourselves, we do not have the standard time limits that normally would apply. So I'll just go over it quickly for the audience who is here tonight and anybody who else who is listening. You can look at the details on the website, but we were doing short-term regulation changes, and the reason we're doing them is, this is also in there, we wanted to do changes to protect property values, ensure neighborhood security and safety. Let the record show that Commissioner Hunton has arrived at 7:04. And so Elliot Morales has dropped back down to an alternate. To ensure neighborhood safety and security, maintain a residential nature, address health and septic issues, and enforcement. And a few things that we changed, notably, short-term rental and under defined terms, we changed what a short-term rental period is. It used to be no more than 14 days, now it's no more than 30 consecutive days, and we made that to be in line with what the state defines short-term rentals as. So that was the one change in definitions, and the rest of them took place under an existing section we already had for short-term rentals, 3.19. And so we expanded on a lot of the verbiage in order to add more details so that anybody doing a short-term rental knew more about what we expected as a town of them. And some of these we defined more what occupants were, how many we could have, no more than 6 people not including children under 12 years of age. The STR, short-term rental unit, leased to one adult, and that adult must be a guest who's actually there. And then we added some more. Only lodging type uses is not, we won't want to have parties, receptions, weddings, and similar things. Parking, we have to have at least one off-street parking per bedroom rented. And one of the important things is we want a local representative that's available 24/7 so that they can address any issues that are found by the police or the ZEO with regard to an STR. And they have to be there within 2 hours to take remedial action to resolve the complaint. You can't rent deed restricted affordable housing. And then you can only use sleeping accommodations which are real bedrooms as per the Connecticut Building Code and the Connecticut Public Health Code. And then they're only permitted in the residential districts, which is what they were before because it's under residential, but this is defining a little more specifically. And then permitting and regulation, registration was a new section. Only the owner can get a permit. The local property representative, which I mentioned above, must be within 15 miles radius of Brookfield. All the tax payments must be current. Inspections will be by ZEO, building inspector, fire marshal, or health director as deemed necessary. They have to have up-to-date certificate of insurance. These are all new things that we didn't have before. And then we will have a database with the police, so we share information about where the rentals are, and when they run into a place where there wasn't a rental we know about, we'll find out about it so we can potentially file a violation for it. And then, let's see, that's about it. And the permit valid for 1 year from the date of issuance. So that's pretty much a overview of the changes. So I know last time we had, as a commission, went over everything. We didn't really have anybody in the audience that wanted to speak to it. So do we have any questions this time from the commission? Since you, no? All right. So I'll ask the audience, are there any questions of clarification for the short-term regulations? I know you probably, none of you are probably here for it. No? Would anybody like to speak in favor of the application? This is for short-term rental regulations. All right, let the record show nobody in the audience. And would anybody like to speak in opposition? All right, let the record show nobody has spoken in opposition. So I was thinking we could close the public hearing tonight and then deliberate next week because we have a big agenda. We have 2 more public hearings we have to cover. So I would accept a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Z-26-14 Town of Brookfield text amendments for the zoning regulations 2.2 and 3.19.
Thank you, Tony, and
I'll second.
Danny seconded it. Any discussion on the motion to close the public hearing? Once we do this, then the people who are once we go into deliberations, the people who are here for deliberations stay on as like a jury. So all in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Unanimous? Anybody in this, nay? Okay. All right, and I'll take a motion to continue the deliberations until next meeting, which is March 28th.
I'll make a motion to continue the deliberations for Z-26-14, Town of Brookfield's tax amendments for the zoning regulations, two point one nine
Thank you,
and
Tony.
3.1, or 2.2 and 3.19.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of continuing to next, say aye.
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 Okay, that was unanimous. Thank you. So next time we'll go over what we talked about. If we, so that's that, and let's see. Is that the next one? All right, 5A, public hearing, 1014. All right, so 5A 1014, I'll do my script first, application Z-26-21. This is a regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. At this point in our agenda, we have scheduled a public hearing concerning application Z-26-21 by Nalisha Mehta of Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization for a special permit application for interior renovations and additional parking at 1014 Federal Road. Again, I'll have the members of the commission introduce themselves here, starting from my left. Dan?
Benicio Fontana?
Greg Petriccioni.
Anthony Papucci, Secretary.
Kurt Zimmerman, Chair.
Scott Dale, Vice Chair.
Mark Lowengarten, regular member.
Jeff Hunton, regular member.
Elliot Morales, alternate member.
Thank you. We will open the public hearing by calling upon the Secretary to read the legal notice of this hearing.
This notice is dated April 24th, 2026. Brookfield Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing in room 133 of Town Hall, 100 Pocono Road at 7 p.m. on 5/14/2026 for special permit application Z-26-21 by, and I'm going to butcher her name, Natasha Mehta of Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization. Sorry.
Forgiven.
1014 Federal Road for the interior renovations and additional parking. And you want me to go for the second one too?
Yeah, you might as well.
All right, and for the second special permit and site plan for application Z-26-27 by Heather Fleet of 10 Federal Road LLC for the proposed car wash. At this hearing, interested parties may appear and be heard, and written communication will be received. All files will be available for inspection at Town Hall Land Use.
All right, thank you. This application was formally received by the Commission on April 23rd, 2026. The public hearing is only one aspect of the approval process and is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. Subsequent to this hearing, the Commission has 65 days in which to render a decision on this proposal. Final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations, or denied. After reading into the record the correspondence received by the Commission relative to the application, we ask the applicant to present the application in deed 5 minutes. Members of the public have one opportunity to speak during this segment of the hearing and may also submit their concerns in writing during the public hearing. During this segment, the commissioners may ask additional questions. The bylaws of the Commission allow for only the presentation of similar positions in succession and preclude the intermixture of comments pro or con. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair. As you are recognized, please state your name and address so your comments may be legally recorded. Please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. However, the Commission is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application. And in view of the time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating comments previously presented. After the public comments are received, the applicant will have an opportunity to comment, and the time will be limited to 10 minutes. Are there any questions about the rules? And they will apply to the second public hearing tonight as well. All right, so let's see if we have any, I don't think there's any correspondence for these. This is just the, yeah. All right, so would you like to present, if you name your address and name for the record, please?
Nalisha Mehta. Do you need me to spell it? Okay. 8 Powder Horn Hill, Brookfield. That's the residence, not the. Yeah. So, good evening. So we, the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization, also known as the Meditation Center of Connecticut, starting in 2017. And January 26th of this year, we purchased property, which is at 1014 Federal Road. You may be familiar with it as known as the I-95 radio station. So just to clarify, we had come to the zoning board in August. I don't know if we need to share that information. So in August, we had come to the zoning board because there was going to be a change of use from the radio station to a nonprofit, and with the anticipation that we were going to close at the end of September. But because the seller asked to delay the closing, we actually didn't close till January 26, 2026. And so when we came in August, we didn't know the full potential of the building until we actually had ownership of the building and could actually go through it and figure out how do we make it work for the needs that we have. This is a building that's going to be open to the public. Just to let you know, we don't charge for any of our classes, any of our sessions, but it's going to be where it just teaches meditation. There'll be workshops, sessions, small group, large group. And we used to be renting space over at 67 Federal Road from 2017 till June of 2025. It's that area across from like Michael's and Town Fair Tire. It's like in that at that intersection. Just to let you know where we used to be at a rental property, but we needed more space. There was growing interest, and we wanted space where we could actually have a little bit more like ownership of the space, but also invite more from the public because we had a very small limitation in how many people we could have. Once we figured out and one of the questions that came to us back in August was about parking. The property itself had 17 plus 6, so 23 spots. But the question was, what do we do if we have more? And so more people that come and more cars than the 23 spots. And so when we came before the DST meeting in March, to just before we started any renovations, one of the questions came up was about parking, but also one thing that we are adding, besides trying to take down some walls, which will work with the building permits, is that there'll be 2 what we call overnight rooms. It's not going to be full-time residential, but occasionally our volunteers or our speakers come from out of town or out of state, and they need somewhere to stay for the night. Maybe once or twice a month at max. It is not going to be full-time living anyone. It's going to be where it's mostly going to be from morning till the evening operations, including the weekends. And so when those 2 things came up during our DST meeting in March, we were asked to come back for the zoning commission. So that's why we're here today. We have already gone through wetlands because we are adding parking. And so we did that in April. And so I believe we got approval on April 27th. And so we presented on April 13th. And so we are going to be adding gravel parking to 2 sides of the building. And so we worked with a surveyor, and we presented everything, and it looks like everything got approved on that. And so hopefully that means that the questions around parking are sufficient. But the other question was around the 2 bedrooms that we're adding. But like I said, it's not going to become a residential. We don't want it to become full-time, anyone living there, but we do recognize that sometimes people do come from far and need to stay somewhere the night, especially our volunteers, because we don't have any paid staff. Everyone is a volunteer that will be working there, or like we call it, volunteering there. And everything, just to let you know, everything is done through voluntary contributions, even the purchase of the building and just the daily operations. I'm trying to think what else would be helpful for you. I don't know if you need to see, I brought the drawings if you wanted to see what we're
That
looking
would
at.
probably be good. I mean, normally it's up on here, but
Right.
it's
But
nice to have the drawings.
I also brought small copies if you want copies for everyone.
We have our computers here.
Okay.
But those larger
Yeah.
size you have are
Yeah.
nice to see.
Okay.
Just for the commission, when we approved this last time as a use change and last year, we asked them to come back in 1 year due to, we wanted to see how the parking was coming. So they're actually here earlier because
We need to add
realized
parking.
you needed more parking.
Yeah, we need to add, one of the things that we were told when we came in August was, plan for success. And so we planned for a larger capacity than we were accustomed to. And so, so what we're going to do, just, I guess I can show you the parking since that was one of the first questions. If you could hold it here. And you should have copies of the house, thank you.
Mhm.
So right now, the current parking that is currently existing that came with the property is this space right here, and then there's 6 spaces in front. And so what we're doing is we're going to be adding, parking spaces alongside, so basically there's a green space right here, where we're going to be adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots here, and then we're adding here another, 8 spots. And so, and they are going to be gravel parking.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be pavement.
And that was due to the inland wetlands requesting that?
It was, it was through it was also, it was through the request and also just our understanding that, it's better for the property and the environment.
Yeah, we like to
So-
keep impervious coverage down, so
Yeah.
the water drains back into
Exactly.
the aquifer.
The property came with paved parking spots, so those are gonna stay as
Mhm.
is, but it's just the new ones that we're gonna put in, they will be gravel. And, we believe that adding these number of spots will then be sufficient for our needs.
Mhm.
We're anticipating for our bigger events, so wait, any questions on parking?
Well, I have a question
Yeah.
about what the red line, what does that mean? You know, the red box that you had written there? I'm
So-
not quite sure. I saw it on the drawing.
Right.
But I didn't know why it was there. Or was that that's the area inside which you were? Sir, if you're gonna speak, could you, state your name and address?
No.
Just trying to,
This is my dad.
You can speak, if you just have to say your name and address, so if you wanted to add to the information for the commissioners here and the audience.
yeah, my name is Ravindra Mehta.
You can send
Same
it
address.
to
Do you mind spelling your first name?
RAVINDRA. He's actually one of our coordinators for the meditation center, or directors of the,
I think the red line, it looks like it, where they can go inside the property,
Mhm.
because property doesn't move, but this is the property we can
Setback?
get in.
Oh, the setbacks?
It might be the setback.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I've got a question for the parking, at least the parking in the front.
yes.
The way that you guys have that, is that gonna be open to Federal Road? Or is that gonna be curbed where you have to pull in?
So there's a driveway right here that comes into the parking lot that currently exists.
Mhm.
And on this side is a business.
Right.
So we share this driveway. So the entrance will be from the driveway, not from Federal Road.
Okay, and that's what I know that in front there's some grass,
Yeah,
and clearly that's where you guys are gonna change.
right,
But I wanted to find out how far you guys were going to
Not from the federal road.
yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be from the driveway that will be creating the entrance.
Okay.
So we won't be touching Federal Road, which is right here,
We won't be tying up the federal road.
Yeah.
on the
So since we're on the outside here, is there any plans to put any sort of screening? I don't know how wide the grass would be there, but are there any bushes, for example, to
Yeah,
hide the parking that
So-
are in front of where you're gonna put that parking?
So on the Federal Road side?
Mhm.
So there
Yes.
are 2 bushes right here, and there's another one here. We're not touching this one. This one, we're trying to see if we can go around it
Mhm.
and not touch it. And the one that's kind of near the sign, right now there's like the light box.
Yeah.
We won't be touching that one.
And
for
how
sure.
about anything along the actual road, Federal Road? Is there anything there, or is that grass?
It's just grass and like the light pole, like the, electric pole, which we won't be touching.
Oh, yeah.
But there's nothing in terms of the bordering Federal Road, any trees, just in the driveway, there's one near the light box, and
Yeah.
then there's 2 right near the building.
Mhm.
And so those 2 near the building, we're trying to see if we can not disrupt them.
Yeah.
They're not trees, but they're like large bushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be adding any to them?
We're hoping to like add some trees just to make it more green, but we haven't decided on it. Because this other parking here, there's no trees that are in the way. We just had to move a shed that was already there
Mhm.
on the property, but trees won't be disturbed on this side. We're hoping to add, but it's not our immediate unless we're told we need to.
Yeah, our plan is to be a little bit more greenery, making more attractive for the public, so they can come, relax, because this is the meditation,
Mhm.
where people come, relax.
Sure.
Not even a person come and relax, so we will be having some trees where they can sit underneath the tree and get some peace.
And from my view from the Federal Road is, I would like to soften the parking lot, you know.
Yes.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to see cars.
Right.
So they're calm before they come in.
So we are trying, yeah. It'll be made.
Oh, not enough room. Yeah, the property line is like right
The
there.
red is
so-
the property line I missed
That's,
before, it's
that's
not
a
the
state
setback,
highway
yeah.
line. I definitely wouldn't wanna be responsible for putting a large tree in there.
Yeah, no.
No, this side we weren't planning on touching unless you told us we had to.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I-
if there's, obvious, mechanical restrictions like
Right.
underground utilities and.
Yeah, I was thinking more just
Visual.
blockage, not even visual, just safety. People backing out. If-
Oh, yeah.
If the parking space to Federal Road is too close, if it's not curbed, somebody can pull out or miss something, pull in.
For safety?
Yeah,
So for the space between where the parking lot will be and Federal Road, there's a few feet of space that there'll be. So, and that's why we also didn't want it to be where it'd be entering from Federal Road.
exactly, yeah,
For safety reasons. That's
You would
why
have
we
to
use it
get
from
the
driveway.
state to agree another curb cut anyway.
right. And that's that's
Yeah.
where we're going with this.
Right. And so it's going to be from the driveway that already
Okay.
exists.
Is there a swale there, in the front, for drainage? I can't remember. I go there all the
I
time.
actually don't know the answer to that.
Alright,
I don't believe so, I believe it's on the side, the drainage swale.
okay.
That blue line around your parking looks to be curbing, right in front.
Yes.
Is that going to be a actual curb on that front line or no?
The one that's,
I know, cause
adjacent-
you said it was gonna be gravel, so I don't know that there would be actual
But I think maybe we should be putting some,
We need to put something to.
kind of some type of stop.
Right.
stop the gravel,
Yeah.
otherwise they'll be going on the road.
Yeah.
So we do plan to put some kind of curbing
Yep.
that will not disrupt the land, but that will keep the gravel in its place.
Yep.
And so we will do something to keep a separation, but it's something that hopefully won't be so intrusive that it, but it'll be something that will work with the space there.
Are you
I think
thinking like
that'll help
tar
with the-
or, concrete curbing?
We
I
haven't,
don't know that part, because the people who knows, they might know the gravel, so they
If you
must
ever-
be experienced.
if you have a
Yeah.
recommendation, we're open to that. We were going to look into see what would be, if it's better to do stone, or if it's better to do like concrete, what would just keep it where it would, the gravel wouldn't go into the grass area, wouldn't go into the road, but also that wouldn't, I guess, be counter to the fact that we're doing a gravel parking lot.
I'm not an expert in any of that, but, you'd have to go to whoever's gonna
Yeah.
put your gravel driveway in to
Right, yeah.
determine what's appropriate
Mhm.
to do exactly what you
Yeah.
wanna do.
And
Do you
that-
know if
that would
the
help
town
with your
ever
break
planned to
on that.
extend sidewalks up there?
I like the idea of sidewalks. I'm not sure if they have enough room, and I
Yeah.
know up the street, at the hotel that turned into apartments,
Mm-hmm.
they have a swale right there, and
Mhm.
it kind of, you couldn't put a sidewalk in there.
Okay.
Would I like sidewalks everywhere? Yes.
Mhm. I just wasn't sure if any part of the TCD plans included that in the future.
This is the, Gateway North.
Gateway
zone,
North, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Ideally, I'd like some. I know that for down on Federal Road, which is even outside this, they're gonna have a sidewalk, so.
Mhm.
I don't know, there's the property to the left, 1,000 Federal Road, which is a business. They don't have a sidewalk there
Yep.
either, but, it would be nice. I don't know if there's a room though.
We can look and see if
Right now,
Um,
currently there's no sidewalk though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Normally we do, I think 4-foot sidewalks, is that?
I believe that's
Yeah.
standard.
I would, a lot of times we have people put sidewalks in, so the eventuality when people, like, for example, the one to the left, if they redevelop that, and it comes for a special permit, we would ask them to do that so we could connect, cause there are apartments to the north of you. And for people to be able to walk all the way down and just go to your place or
Right.
any other place there would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be great if there was walking traffic, but
Yeah.
right now there isn't, there's no sidewalks.
Okay.
When were you planning to open? Obviously, the conversion from a radio station to what you're looking to do is gonna be probably pretty extensive.
As-
Within a 2 month, something like
As soon as the renovations are done.
Right.
You know, we're getting a lot of calls, we're getting a lot of inquiries saying,
Sure.
you know, because they're so used to us being open.
Yeah.
And we've been closed since June, basically, of 2025, when we ended our lease at 67 Federal Road. And so basically, after we get zoning approval, we'll then work with the building permits and then start renovations and just
Right.
kind of, you know, as soon as renovations are done and we get all the approvals from the fire marshal and things. So we're hoping this summer.
Okay, cool.
That's the short answer, is this summer.
Thank you, yeah.
I like to get used to summer because then the winter comes and
Nobody likes to go
Yeah.
outside in the summer, in the winter.
Well, maybe it's a good time to transition to the inside mods, because
Yeah.
they're driving the parking on the outside.
Right. Right, so. All right, so right now, the way that the building is on the inside, this is the entrance here, from the driveway. And then when you walk in, there are these, there are 5 offices. We're keeping them as is. We're not making any changes, just painting and like cosmetic changes to turn them into, like small meeting rooms, meditation rooms, and an office, of course, the administration office. And so this is the part that's facing the
Oh, I know.
driveway. And then, this used to be what they called the bullpen, which is where they had all the cubicles when it was the radio station. And so what we're planning to do is, we're going to be, after we get our building permits, is to take down one of the walls to make it our main space for big events, where we can have about 100 people is what we're looking at. And to take down some closets that were also built. And so, you know, we'll be working with the building permits team before we go, you know, do any of those renovations. And so the chairs will be all movable. This is just to show spaces of where people would be. And we'll build like a little stage here, and then we also have another meeting room that already exists behind it, and that'll stay as is. It was a conference room, I think, when it was the radio station. And then, and because what we've noticed is that this space doesn't have any natural light coming in, we are going to be putting in some windows that go to the exterior just to bring natural light into the building. And then we, as I mentioned, you know, we don't charge for anything, but we like to make everyone feel comfortable and welcomed, and so we are going to be, we provide for our big events a meal. We always say whenever anyone comes to us, we don't like them to go away empty-handed, and so they always, and so we are, you know, building permits did let us know that we have to do a commercial grade kitchen, even though we're not selling anything, and so we will be doing that here, which requires taking down a wall. Now, one of the reasons why we're here today is because we are going to be turning in 2 of the rooms into overnight rooms, or as we'll call them, bedrooms, even though they won't be full-time usage. And there will be doors going to the exterior, including windows that will have to be built there, and then we'll have storage. And so we're gonna be adding bathrooms for the public. Right now, there is one handicap accessible, but we're going to actually make that more closer to the entrance, handicap accessible. That will also be, you know, that will be, you know, unisex. And then we'll have 3 bathroom stalls for women and 1 stall and 2 urinals for men for the public. And so we know that we need to add more bathrooms. And so this is the general plan of what we're going to be doing. We're not going to be expanding the physical building, but we are making interior changes. And so it was this area that, because of our capacity, was gonna be larger than when we anticipated when we came in August, is why we, also why we're here today, because of the increase in capacity, what we anticipate.
Okay. The women's bathroom, you show a wheelchair in there. Is that gonna be ADA compliant, or you just wanted to make it, you know?
So so right now, what we were thinking is we were going to see if we could actually make 2 regular and then 1 ADA compliant but we weren't sure if we needed to do that based on, or if we could just have, just one that would be unisex, and then we didn't need to make the one in the women's room, ADA compliant, like in terms of wheelchair accessible. And our understanding is as long as we had this one, we thought, we were told that it would be okay.
Yeah, the original building had one ADA and a men's and a woman's, so they had
Yeah.
3 bathrooms total.
Right.
So you're gonna have 5, I think, here.
We're going to have, 3 for the women, 1 toilet, 2 urinals for the men, for the public, 1 unisex that's going to be wheelchair accessible. And then in addition, the bedrooms will each have their own full bathrooms, so that, you know, but for the public, it'll be confined to this area.
Yeah, so the public's actually getting more stalls, so
Yes.
to speak.
Because, when we take breaks, we're like, we don't wanna wait 20 minutes, and, you know, I was a big advocate to get more for the women. I don't know why, it always takes longer for us. So, yeah, we wanted to make sure that there was enough, bathroom stalls.
All right. Commissioners have any more questions of clarification?
I do.
Okay.
It's gonna tie back to parking. And again, I'm assuming that the 100-seat open area for the large events, that's aspirational, that's not, okay. And the reason why is, if you're having 100 people, even if it's 2 people per car, that's 50 cars, it doesn't,
Right.
the spots don't line up.
Right.
So that's a concern, and then the second piece was, we were talking about the bathrooms. With that many people, do you have enough facilities to accommodate? And I don't know if there's anything that ties to that from a regulation perspective, or,
No, but as far as regulations go, there is a parking schedule.
yeah, no, parking for sure, but I wasn't
Which
sure
would
about the
probably,
bathrooms.
I don't, I think it's 3 per,
3 seats, I
3
believe.
seats per.
Per one spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you only need 33.
All right,
And
Yeah.
so based on our plan, it's gonna be 39 spots. The 100 is aspirational. When we talk about just regular classes during the week, you know, it could be probably maximum 20 people. But when we do larger scale events, which we're of course hoping to do, you know, that it's aspirational for 100.
right, no, I understood,
Yeah.
that's why I said, that.
Yeah.
Again, being able to accommodate for it, was my concern.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Even we were talking to a next door businessman,
Mhm.
and we wrote a letter, and they says if you like it, they can talk to the insurance company, and we can park in their facilities.
So we're in discussions also with our neighbors.
Okay.
So if you do something like that, you need to present that agreement to the
Yeah.
zoning
It's
commission,
not-
yeah.
We have a correspondent, but it's not approved yet.
No.
Yeah, we haven't finalized it, but
Yeah.
that was also a recommendation to see if we could
But
talk to.
that one is also going in the
Okay.
process, but we
Mhm.
haven't approached yet, because it's a insurance, you know,
Mhm.
so.
The liability for them.
Sure.
So right now, we're just gonna focus on expanding our parking and seeing how that goes. And if we find that, okay, we're going to need more, then we are gonna talk more, I guess formally with, our neighbors.
Okay.
But, you
And
know,
that really,
Okay.
we're willing
you
to
know,
to
because they say,
discuss with
if
them.
you are, you can talk to our insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as exits and entrances, again, with the amount of people,
Mhm.
I know there's the one in the front, I know there's the back, you've got the 2 that are kind of tagged for the properties, but how many entrances and exits do you have?
So currently, the property came with 2.
Mhm.
So one is here at the main entrance, and then back here, there is an exit that already exists.
Right.
And there's where there's a generator, and so it's the back of the building. And so what's also gonna what will happen is these 2 bedrooms will have exits to the outside. But for the public, you know, I mean, in case of an emergency, or that currently is 2 already.
Okay.
Mhm.
One at the front and one at the back of the building.
So you decided for the bedrooms to have 2 means of egress, just for 3
I think the
actually.
town,
Yeah.
they requested
Yep.
to have
Yeah,
exit door over there.
Mhm.
and so it actually will work on our benefit to have 2 additional exits in case of.
No, agreed, I just was,
Yeah.
again, the one in the back and the one in the front.
Yeah.
Again, the actual front of the building doesn't have any exits or entrances, which,
Street side, yeah.
yeah.
Right, that's true. And so, like, right now it exists here, and then Federal Road is.
Right,
here.
yeah,
That, because of the use, you may find that the marshal wants something closer to your meeting
right.
space
Okay.
also,
That's where I was kind of going with this.
So,
there
can
is-
I interrupt you? Did the fire marshal send his information through for this one?
I can double check. I don't believe he has commented on this one yet.
All
I
right.
think you said
I
you
think
still
they
have to
came
work
in
with
that
them, right?
yesterday.
I have a question on that.
He made comments at the DSC meeting, but every building permit, once it goes through,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be reviewed by the fire marshal.
Yeah.
So I don't know how far he's gotten into it in the initial planning
We
stage.
have not applied to that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I could be jumping the gun, I just,
No, we appreciate.
Top
you
of mind.
No, we appreciate that you're asking us this so that we can be anticipated, and we actually had discussions that if we needed to add a third entrance, like we were saying, closer to the public area, we
The
had already
hallway's a
discussed that
prime
there is
spot.
this hallway here.
Yep.
That we could, you know, it was actually one of our discussions, and so if we find that it isn't necessary to have a third one, we already know where we can put one that
It's
wouldn't,
already there, only we have to just open the
it
area.
wouldn't create any disturbance to the building or any of the rooms.
Right.
Since it's a hallway.
Scott, you had a question?
Ian, is it fair to categorize your use of this building as a conference center, or is it something else?
I wouldn't call it a conference center, only because it's not where someone could rent it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of like, let's see, if you're, because I guess I assume that if you say it's a conference center, outside groups could come in and rent our space. It's not what we do. But it's where we're gonna open it to the public to come and learn meditation, to take classes, to come for quiet time, you know, just to have a space. And so it is something that's going to be, you know, basically accessible to the public, but it's not where they can rent the space. So how
Right.
would we, what would be?
It's not educational necessarily.
it could be,
I'm
I
trying to
think-
remember what use you came in under. I don't remember exactly what that was.
It was an assembly use, I believe,
Yeah.
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 generally.
Because
Yes,
they're a
similar to
nonprofit.
assembly, but not
Right,
the
right.
Real, you know, in that respect.
Not a church,
Not
Right.
the church.
Mhm.
but it's assembly in the sense of where people are coming together.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
okay.
Okay, any more questions from the commissioners? Is there any questions of clarification from the audience about this application? Yeah, if anybody wants to talk, you have to come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
I wrote something up, I'll just read it,
Sure.
okay? Okay, I'm Helen Maliska from 40 Country Way, Bridgewater, Connecticut. No, I'm not going to speak, but I'm just going to stand here. We're twins, so I'm standing here just in case. Not because of that. I was going to read, in case I can't read. I was going to read the last paragraph, but we're going to just. But anyway, Do you we're want to just, do it? we're just going to do this. We would like to introduce ourselves, of course, and share our heartfelt appreciation for the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center and the positive impact it has had on our lives and our community. We are from the Suzuki Music School in Sandy Hook, where we've had a business for 42 years. We have taught music to the majority of preschools throughout Newtown. In addition, we're music ministers at St. Rose of Lima and have been there for 35 years. We became involved with the Brahma Kumaris after the Sandy Hook tragedy. Sadly, we personally knew 6 of the little girls who lost their lives that day. During such a heartbreaking and painful time for our community, we were searching for ways to help bring peace and healing back to Sandy Hook. The Brahma Kumaris is a worldwide spiritual organization whose message of peace, meditation, compassion, and respect for all people has touched lives across the globe. We have seen this firsthand, how their teachings not only brought peace and healing into our lives, but continue to help people around the world. We feel so grateful and fortunate that we found a local Brahma Kumaris meditation center, and that relationship continues today. But we are from Edinburgh, Scotland, and when we go to Edinburgh, we can find a Brahma Kumaris center there. They are all over 157 countries, I think, right? And they've done wonderful things for our community and for us. And we're involved in everything. So we just wanted to say that. And when the Brahma Kumaris do something, they do it first class. First class.
Yeah.
First class at everything. So that's every center we've been in, first class. We have them all over the place. New York City, you know, and they're all first class. And they bring us peace and happiness and positive thinking. Yeah. And
What we need.
Yeah, what we need. Yeah. So thank you for letting us speak.
Thank you.
I meant to mention if anybody would like to speak in favor, so you're the first one.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of this application?
My name is Judy Rogers, Rodgers, and I live in our retreat center, which is on Hunter Mountain, if you know that area, about 2 hours away. And I'm one of those people who would want to stay in an overnight room. So if I came in to do a talk and I started at 7 and finished at 9, I wouldn't want to be trying to get back, you know, in one trip. But people would also probably come in from New York City and Boston because, as you've heard, this is a global organization. We have 8,000 centers in 120 countries. We have a long affiliation with the United Nations. And when we open a place like this, we do it with a lot of intention to be able to bring as much benefit and to be able to make it accommodate people who might really need the resources, as you've just heard right after Sandy Hook, but also people just trying to deal with what's going on in the world right now. So we really are kind of about education, but it's really about your inner world. So I'm really so excited about the place, and I hope that all the questions are answered and we can open with joy sometime in the next 6 months or whatever and bring a lot of benefit to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak in favor of the application?
My name is Suresh Nadella, Suresh, last name Nadella, Nadella.
Thank you. And your address?
32 Spicebush Lane, Shelton, Connecticut. Just want to extend what was told before. Just share my personal experience. Like I've been, coming to the center for the past few years, and then it's been a real support for us, for me and my family, and then also it's helping the workplace as well to stay positive. And then the sessions they give, the public workshops, and meditation sessions and workshops and programs they do, and it helps me stay calmer, and then stay positive, and then it helps at the workplace as well. And then I'm hoping that many people will get benefit from the new center that they're opening. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak in favor of the application? Anybody would like to speak in opposition? All right. Any more questions from the commission? Would you like to speak, follow up, wrap up, or we might ask some more questions among ourselves about some of the items we talked about.
Okay. So I think, one of the questions was, sometimes we get asked is why Brookfield? I actually grew up in Brookfield. I forgot to say that about myself. I started out in preschool, so I went to Prince of Peace all the way through high school, and my family's lived in Brookfield since that time, and so, we really wanted to find a way to give back to the community everything that the community has given to us, but also because of, just it's not only going to serve Brookfield, but really to everyone in the area, even from New York, Boston, because who doesn't want to have less stress in their life? Who doesn't want to find a way to really navigate the daily stresses of life in a way that can be positive for themselves, their family, their workplace? And so we just found that you know, what can we do to really serve the community in a way that aligns with everyone's lives. And so that's why this is something that we're really passionate about and really want to see happen. You know, and as you can see, we're open to whatever, you know, the changes or any kind of things that we need to do. We want to make sure that we're following all the rules and regulations to make this successful, both for the town, but also for those who experience meditation. And so, first of all, everyone is welcome to come and, you know, when we have it open. But it's just, you know, we just want to say thank you for all the cooperation we've been getting, but also we hope to see this be successful and open, hopefully in the next few months.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, but is there any other questions that you have for
Well, I
us?
guess I wanted to ask the commission, you know, we talked about a couple things. The curbing to keep the gravel in,
Mhm.
you know, my thought was maybe it would just, if we did a stipulation, something that's appropriate to keep the gravel in, that the person putting the gravel driveway in recommends, because they would know best. And that's all we're concerned with, is keeping the gravel in.
Right.
The other thing was any extra exits, you know. I know that sometimes you find those things out further on, and the fire marshal is the more the arbiter of that. Do we want to do anything now to stipulate that, or should we trust that the fire marshal, you know, puts in their plans, the building plans?
I would say that we maybe leave it as a reserve and see what the fire marshal, because it's good if the fire marshal, I still think it's a good idea, just because.
And we're only one step too,
Correct.
because, you know, the fire marshal, the building inspector, they all have to do what they do, and those are different areas of purview. So my only thought would be about that sort of, and they already mentioned about doing something to curb it. So, if you're thinking, I think maybe the only stipulation would be that one on curbing, what's appropriate, just keeps gravel in, and leave the exits, how many exits, up to the fire marshal and the building department. Does anybody have any other?
And as far as the sidewalks, we know there's plans to extend the sidewalks in Federal Road,
Yeah.
but not to that point, at this
Yeah.
point.
No, and I asked the community development specialist about sidewalks, and, you know, to especially for properties that aren't being redeveloped, then you could create a sidewalk fund and new sidewalk regulations, because any existing property owner doesn't necessarily want to spend the money for that, because they also take on the responsibility of keeping it clear.
Correct. Well, and also because it's Federal Road, you've got the state component of that too.
Yeah.
What sort of permits do you have to go to the state to get approvals for all of that stuff?
I think if it's not on there right away, but that's probably beyond us right now to figure out where that might go.
I believe right now the streetscape project only continues through the TCD district. I
Yeah.
have heard talk about continuing the greenway in certain points up to New Milford.
Yeah.
And that might be a route, but I'm not familiar enough on that project to be able to speak to it.
I don't think there's any existing plans for it to go that far.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if you're gonna do gravel here, I wonder if, like, a small sidewalk would be enough to keep the gravel in, like, as a barrier in and of itself.
Yeah, but you'd have to have curbing on that sidewalk.
It would be
Anyway.
a raised
Yeah, I don't know, it was
sidewalk.
just,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
So if you do a raised sidewalk, it, you know, takes care of both elements of keeping the gravel in. The issue is you're right on that state line.
Right.
So there's not much room of any of that.
And all of the impact of all of the underground again,
Well, sidewalk isn't gonna, but, you know, planting, you know, rooted trees or something like that would definitely
Right.
Yeah.
affect those. But you do, again, being right on the state
but
line
even,
there, I don't think you can do anything there.
right, even if you wanted, again, the sidewalk's not gonna be that deep, but you're going in there with excavators to clear it, clean it, level it. Again, that you're opening up, again, now you're taking out of the town purview and putting it into the state
I
purview.
agree.
I mean, you're using the excavators, though, to, like, level out the area before you actually put the gravel in, though, so it's not really that
The
much
reason why
more.
we're not closing a public hearing yet, in case we need you to come back with an altered plan, so
But if you look at those utility lines, that would be directly
Mm.
in that area, so.
Yeah.
It's one thing to scrape and level for the parking area. Once you get past that red line, which you would be going over regarding any kind of like a sidewalk area there, then you go right into that, the CL&P utility and the drainage there and all that, because the sewer line, I believe, is right there, it said.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I agree, disturbing.
Like I said, yeah.
Like anything past that red line is on state right-of-way land, I believe, is the way it's written, so.
And though we have purview to it, it's out of our purview. Again, it becomes
Yeah.
state.
So,
Yeah, that looks pretty close.
Yeah, like I said,
I think that's
Yeah.
a decision for another day, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a full sidewalk plan to go beyond the TCD.
yeah,
I just wouldn't want to do something that would like prevent that from going through in the future. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to implement something now that would prevent a sidewalk. I'm not saying we have to do a sidewalk now,
Yeah.
but
So I can't tell how much room there is between the edge of the sidewalk. I can't even get my
Yeah, no.
yeah, I
my
can't.
map there. And the state highway line.
I'm not sure if that's enough room. It might
I don't know what the
probably
scale
about
is
4
on
feet
that
if I
at
had to
that
guess.
point.
Maybe less than that.
I'd say probably less.
Yeah,
I'd
if
say
it's
less.
less, and, you
Well,
know.
it's
the-
24 feet, the
luckily-
driveway, so
The lucky
like
thing is,
1/6,
if it's
yeah.
just curbing and gravel, that can be easily modified.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if anything they do now on that front driveway will preclude maybe a sidewalk in the future. And if we come up with a sidewalk plan and talk to the state and get approval to at least have part of the right of way, depending on how much room there is, then that might not be an issue anyway.
Okay.
Depending on how much room there is. So the only stipulation I can foresee right now is the one about curbing.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions or other comments before we close the public hearing? All right, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Z-26-21. Brahman Kumara World Spiritual Organizations, special permit for interior renovations and additional parking.
All right, thank you, Tony. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Any more deliberations on the motion to close the public hearing? All right, everybody who's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. I think we should go into deliberations right now, just because we don't wanna have them wait. So I think the only stipulation, I mean, I like the plan, those rooms, you know, of course, they're not a hotel. They're not renting the rooms to anybody, they don't charge any money for anybody. And, the use is low, and, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. And I like this idea of a larger center like this in town. So,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. The only, like I said, the only thing that I'm moderately concerned, but I'm gonna defer to the fire marshal,
mhm.
is the extra door.
Egress,
And
yeah.
the only reason why is, again, it's forward thinking.
Yeah.
You know, the use case in the way it's set up now, again, but plan ahead, having another exit, I think just makes sense.
Mhm.
I also think that you guys, kudos to you for mapping out, they already have a spot potentially picked out.
Yeah.
I got a side question completely off topic to this though, only because I've never been in the building. Does the building have sprinklers
Oh,
or?
you can't ask.
Oh, sorry.
Public
Never mind.
hearing's
Yeah,
closed.
sorry,
We can't
forget
take
it.
any more,
Done.
data.
Done.
You had your chance.
I stand by my original comment about the door. That's my only question.
You had your
I
chance.
did.
You just didn't come up with it.
I didn't, sorry.
Any other thoughts? The only commissioners that can vote are the 6 regular members and Danny
Before
to
that,
deliberate for that.
of note, there is a facility in the next town over that does certain events.
Mhm.
I think they were doing it like twice, maybe 3 times a year. The owner of the building was told, if you're going to do these events, you're gonna need to do, or regularly do these events, they would have to modify the egress, means of egress. They chose not to do that at the time and held events anyway, but had to get special permits and standby marshal from the fire marshal's office and all that for those events, and it has become
An issue.
a headache similar, not quite as bad as a property we have here in town, but they've pushed the issue kind of right to the limit.
Yeah,
Or-
kick the
and-
can down the road and.
Well,
maybe-
they've kind of pushed it beyond where they should have, and the people who are doing the event aren't the property owners, so they're kind of caught in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's become, it has become an issue. So as far as the idea of planning for success and planning for the future with, the best possible attendance and stuff like that of events there, I would, again, going with deferring to the marshal, but
Recommend that they look at
The,
that hard.
definitely go in and with your absolute plan ahead of time, as opposed to trying to figure out how to adapt it later on and end up having to get a fire standby or something like that while you're doing the events. So yeah, just looking for the future for that would be, probably a wise decision in general.
Yeah. All
So,
right, thanks.
on
Greg.
that though, I'll be not voting on this one, to past history. I've known her quite some time.
Oh, all right, you're recusing yourself.
Yes, I will.
All right. All right, any other commissioner comments? All right, so who wants to make a motion with stipulations for approval?
I'm gonna cheat. I'll make a motion to approve Z-26-21 with the mentioned amendments or
Stipulation to
Stipulations.
provide appropriate curbing to
Can I
keep the gravel
interject for
traffic.
1 second, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair?
sure.
I know in the original approval, I'm sorry for waiting to the last minute, you had as a condition that parking study. I haven't heard any kind of mention of it going forward. Are you satisfied with the additional parking spaces? Because
I am, because it
Okay,
meets the regs. The other one, they didn't have a plan yet, and now they have a firm plan inside.
Just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that it wasn't forgotten.
No, this is almost like that parking study now, coming in front of us. They've sort of preempted it. Yeah. So, so you wanna restate? Sorry, Tony.
As I said before, I make a motion to approve Z-26-21, the special permit for the interior renovations with the stipulations mentioned,
Appropriate curbing.
appropriate curbing
To keep the gravel driveways.
to keep the
Yeah.
gravel driving in place.
Yep. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Oh, okay, Danny. Any other discussion on this motion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And one abstention, which is Greg. All right. Oh, thank you. So you're approved.
Thank you.
And the reason is it meets the regulations. We think this is they thought well about the parking and the interior renovations, how they work with each other. And I think it'll be a good addition to our community, a bigger version of what they had down 67 Federal Road.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, so as we mentioned, we always come with, we never leave with anyone empty-handed, so we have a little sweet and a little inspiration card. Is it okay if we share it with you?
Sure, because it's after.
It's after.
It's not a bribe.
It's after, it's not during.
It's gratitude. I've heard that this becomes a gratuity rather than a bribe. Just,
Thank you very much.
Today they're boxes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll recuse myself. That's right.
Positive meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel calm now. If you want, you can make a motion to skip the reading of the rules.
Thank you.
Oh, no, we have to continue her.
So, you got, I know,
No, I don't.
all right,
That's why.
figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
One more.
Let's say, turn to skip the reading of the,
I read it, I read it, I read both.
no, the rules, because I don't want to go through
Oh,
the
the
whole
specific terms?
Yeah.
I left them out last time.
Well, I'll take a motion to dispense with the reading of the rules because they're the same as the last rules. I'll just talk about that. So
I'll make a motion to
dispense with the reading
dispense
of the
of the
rules
reading
for
of
the
the rules
second
for the
public.
second public hearing,
All
since
right.
it's the same as the first.
Thank you, Tony, and do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. All in favor of dispensing with the rules for the second public hearing? Say
Aye.
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 Yeah.
Do we still have everybody?
Yes,
Okay. I'll just read the important bits.
yes.
The first part is our regular meeting of the Brookfield Planning and Zoning Commission. At this point in our agenda, we have scheduled a public hearing concerning application Z-26-27 by Heather Flea for 10 Federal Road LLC for a special permit and site plan application for a car wash at 10 Federal Road. The commissioners are the same ones we had before. The application was formally received by the commission on April 23rd, 2026. The same rules apply as from the last one. And
I've already read the public hearing.
you already read the public hearing. Let's see if we have any correspondence. We do. So I'm going to ask the secretary to read the correspondence from the fire marshal.
Okay. So this is from the Fire Marshal of the Town of Brookfield, dated April 17th. Mike Connors, email was sent to the applicant, still waiting for an answer in regards to your submission for 10 Federal Road, Brookfield, Connecticut. I have questioned regarding the fire department access, on-site development plan, SD.1. Is there a plan for an emergency access should the main driveway become congested with vehicles? I see it looks like they may connect to a neighboring parking lot to the north, but the elevations don't look like it's convenient for an access road. I'd like to discuss this further. Please feel free to reach out. This would be my only concern going forward with the plan. Mike Connors, Fire Marshal, Town of Brookfield.
Yeah, is that the only one? Oh, no, that's just,
Yeah.
So there was no update from the fire marshal? Was this the one you talked about, Laura?
It might have been. I know that the fire marshal had let me know that he had reached out to the applicant and he had heard a response.
All right, so
back
they're
from
still
them.
open.
So it is still open. He actually updated this in the comments when I touched base with him. It is the portal, because we didn't have a copy of his email to the applicant.
Yeah.
Out in the application, so he copied it for our record.
Okay. So, we still need his input.
That would be up to the commission.
Well. All right, so, since I did all the rules before and we read the correspondence, we're now ready for the application. If you come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
All right, good evening. Attorney Josh Pedrera, Cohen and Wolf, on behalf of the applicant, primarily out of the Bridgeport office. I'm going to go 1115 Broad Street, Bridgeport, Connecticut for that office. With me today is our engineering team from Arthur H. Howland and Associates. We have Paul Zemansky and Chris Francis. We also have the owner, Vincent Porgio. In addition to that, Dave D'Ambrosio, who will be handling the blasting on this project. So that is our team that's present tonight. Before the commission is a special permit site plan approval. I know we're well into the meeting, so I'll try to keep it brief before I introduce the team. But just by way of background, to give you a little bit of an insight on the project in current conditions, the site is located at 10 Federal Road in the C1 Regional Commercial District. That's actually in pretty close proximity to the Danbury line. The site is currently about 1.1 acres in size. We will be expanding that. They will be taking a portion of the abutting property at 18 Federal Road. I know that there will be some discussion on that. So we're looking at about 1.291, almost 1.3 acres. Once that happens, with respect to a current use, there is actually an existing car wash facility there. It's a bit of an outdated facility. That is going to be raised. The intention here is to essentially raise the existing car wash, and then they're going to erect, you know, a state-of-the-art automated car wash facility that's significantly going to improve the site with respect to traffic, stormwater management, aesthetics, et cetera. I'll let the engineers get into the nuts and bolts of that and go through the site plan. But as it stands right now, the site is currently non-conforming. If the commission is familiar with the site, you know that car wash is in very close proximity to Federal Road. So the intention there is to push that back. The site will be fully compliant. There was a variance obtained previously, and that's really with respect to the vacuum structures that are going to be within that setback. But beyond that, the site is going to be fully compliant, so there's going to be improvements in that sense. Besides that, that's really the gist of it. Again, I don't want to take too much time from the commission. I'll let the engineers introduce the project, the site plan, go over the details. We'll get into the you know, the details of stormwater management system, oil, water, grit separators, et cetera, and then handle any questions that the commission may have.
Thank you.
Good evening. For the record, Paul Szymanski, professional engineer, representing the applicant. As Josh pointed out, subject property is located at 10 Federal Road, just north of Stu Leonard's. The existing car wash facility itself was constructed somewhere around 1983, early 1980s. At the time, it was considered state-of-the-art. Today, not so much. Subject property is a little over 1 acre in size. As you know, the site slopes up from the roadway up. The majority of the entrance of the car wash itself is actually on the DOT's property. So the dark black line that's shown on the bottom of the map is actually the state of Connecticut's property line. So if you look, when you come into the site, everything, the entire circulation into the north side of the tunnel is currently on the state of Connecticut's property, including part of the vacuum spaces. The building itself is only 15.8 feet off the front property line. So obviously, as part of this, we have a full redesign. There's currently one little island of green space within the state's right-of-way. The rest of it is a Belgian block impervious surface from the curb of Federal Road up to the curb of the subject property. To be able to effectuate our site development plan, we went through meetings and approvals with the neighbors. Attorney Marcus is here tonight on behalf of the neighboring property. And as part of that, we are proposing to take a small portion of the property, a little under 2/10 of an acre. That's the area shown in red hashed. As part of that, before we got to you guys, we had to go to the Conservation Commission because there was a conservation easement that was placed back on that property some time ago. As part of their condition of releasing that from conservation easement, we're proposing 2 new easements, one on Landmark Heights property at 18 Federal Road, and one at the rear of the subject property, as well as a multitude of invasives removal. There's a large amount of invasives in that area, so we're going to bring that back to a natural state as well. As Josh noted, we're in the C1 zone. Our proposal calls for a new curb cut. Currently, the site entrance is on the south side of the property. We will now orient it with an entrance and exit on the north side of the property, 28 feet in width. The patrons will enter into the facility to the north, and then there will be 3 queuing lanes at the rear of the property. We support about 34 cars within the property. Currently, the existing car wash supports about 6 or 7. So we're providing about 5 or 6 times the current queuing as it exists today. What happens is the patrons pull up to kiosks, at which point they either pay for their car wash or they may be part of the monthly car wash plan. So license plate reader lets them go through the car wash. They then come into the south end of the tunnel. They then proceed through the exit on the north side, at which time they have the ability to either leave the site or go through 2 lanes of vacuum spaces, which consist of 20 vacuum spots. We have 3 parking spaces. Your regulations enumerate that they do not give a specific parking criteria. We've done 12 car washes with Mr. Porzio, who's here tonight. We do three parking spaces as there's 3 employees on site. As it relates to the fire marshal's comment, just while we're talking about circulation, unfortunately, we didn't receive his email until today. But as it relates to his comment, what we always design on our car washes is an emergency bypass lane on the south side of the entrance tunnel. So this way, if there's an issue, there's access both from the front of the building, from the north side of the building, and from the south side of the building. So that'll usually just have a little chain that's not locked in any way. So there's easy access from all 3 points on the property. From a stormwater management perspective, we've taken into account the increase in impervious surface on the property. So we have an underground retention system that provides a 0 increase in the peak rate of runoff for the 2 through 100-year storm events. Also provides for the stormwater quality line in accordance with the 2024 Stormwater Quality Manual from Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. We have a dumpster at the rear of the property where they come in and then go through the emergency exit to leave. As we noted, Josh noted, there is a variance that was granted, not for the building. The building's fully compliant. It's 100-foot setback from the property line now, which is along the bottom. So if you notice, on the existing conditions map, we had our driveway circulation within the state of Connecticut property. Now we have, that's all returned to green space with the exception of a sidewalk that we're proposing. And we now have plantings on our property, which consists of a mixture of red maples, oaks, and hydrangeas. Along the entrances here, we have ornamental grasses, mugo pines, and we also have other various shrubs and perennials that are part of the landscaping plan. So we have, the variance was with respect to the vacuum equipment for the vacuum spaces that are along the central portion of the vacuum area. And then we also had moved the vacuum equipment area back off the property line as well. We also, as part of this, prepared a lighting plan. So we have full cutoff lighting in accordance with the regulations, as well as some building mounted lighting. We provide a lighting ISO diagram, just showing there's no light spillage from the property. It all stays within the property. And it's all night sky friendly lighting as well. After we go through the approval process with your commission, obviously we'll be going to the state of Connecticut for the new curb cut and encroachment permit that's proposed. Property is served by public sewer and water. Currently, the car wash effluent that leaves the site leaves in a relatively untreated manner. What we do now, because we go through an approval process with DEP as it relates to the new facilities, we have 3 oil water separators, grit separators, along the front portion of the building. So the wastewater goes into that, and there's 3 different settling opportunities. So that gets rid of floatables before it goes into the public sewer. It gets rid of any grit before it goes into the public sewer, and anything like oils. And then those are pumped by an environmental pumping company regularly. What we do is we monitor the sediment loading. We know from the other facilities how often they need to be pumped. The first oil grit separator is pumped more frequently because that gets all the coarser grit. The third tank isn't pumped more than once a year. And then we also have a reclaim process for the water as well. Within the building itself, we have a large horsepower blow drying system with multiple tubes. What that does is that prevents any tracking of water off the property. And that's changed over time. Historically, they were much smaller systems, and you would have had tracking and potential icing conditions. That's been totally eliminated in the last 10 to 15 years through the new designs that are proposed. We do have blasting proposed as part of this, where we'll go through the fire marshal's office. As part of that approval process, we're using Dave D'Ambrosio, who's here tonight. As part of that, we have a blasting plan that's implemented, so anytime there's blasting that's done, they map the entire area. It extends beyond the area of blasting. The road's temporarily closed while the blast occurs. Dave has to place seismographs at each of the nearby buildings and properties, and he also does pre-blast surveys of all the buildings itself. So that means he's photo documenting every single building, reviewing it, making sure what the existing condition is, so then after post-blast, he confirms that there's been no adverse impact to the building in any way based on his blasting activity. Basically, he works from the front of the site and works his way in. I think I've taken up enough of your time, but happy to answer any questions that you may have.
You mentioned about stormwater being net no more, but actually, didn't it say it's gonna be less?
It's gonna be less, yeah, it
okay.
is. So there's a reduction in every single storm event.
Yeah.
So you have your 2-year storm event, which is about 1.3 inches of rain, and your 100-year event, which is between 7 and 8 inches, depending on the address.
So you don't have infiltration because it's all rock underneath, so you
Yeah,
just
so
have to hold on to.
So we have oversized pipes with basically an outlet control structure at the end, which is just a modified catch basin, and that has a wall with a weir and orifices in it. So it releases the stormwater in a controlled manner. So it basically holds it back underneath the parking lot and then slowly releases it into the state's drainage system.
And the lighting is 3,000 Kelvin?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
As far as the blasting that you guys are proposing, how extensive is it gonna be?
It's extensive. There's over 80,000 yards of material being removed.
I mean, you have to really dig into that.
Yeah,
hill.
no, I know.
It's gonna take a large amount of time.
Yeah.
And because of the proximity to the roadway and the proximity of the building to the south,
Right.
we can't do large blasts.
No, that's
as well.
all
We
the
have to be
questions,
very
that's why I'm
sensitive.
asking, yeah.
No, it's fully hit them with it. That's what we're here for.
Looking at the plans, like I said, you definitely are going deeper.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And one of the things is we wanted to be as compliant as possible with respect to your regulations, so it was important to us that we complied with the building setback, and we only asked for a variance for the vacuums. It was also important to not just reintroduce green space in the state of Connecticut right away, which currently is almost all impervious due to our fault. Well, not our fault, the prior owner's fault. But we also wanted to incorporate green space in our front entrance as well.
You'll be digging now similar to the karate place just down the street.
Correct.
As far as the entrance and exit, any sort of traffic studies? I mean, I know what it's like now.
Sightline analysis for DOT.
Okay.
It's a tremendous improvement from the existing.
Look, I was gonna say, I know what it is now.
Because, you know, like right now is also, it's not just the whole like right turn that's extremely sharp that you barely can turn. It's also the fact that you're rising so quickly. So we're
Right.
bringing that down to be a more normal grade as well. So it's not like the sidewalk's gonna be on the side like the current existing condition.
All right,
It's
so
gonna be a totally flat
you're
sidewalk.
actually looking to lower
We're
it
lowering
as well?
that as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
I just assumed going back, I didn't realize
Yep.
coming down as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're over blasting in the areas of the landscaping, obviously, so it can survive less than 1 to 2 at a time.
The lot line revisions only on the right side, cause I
Only the
noticed the
north side.
conservation is gonna come onto your property.
Yeah, because we're adding, so what we're doing is part of the compensatory mitigation to the Conservation Commission. We're adding additional conservation easement at the rear of the
Yeah.
existing property.
And that lot line stays as is.
As is,
Yeah.
yes, correct, Jim.
Okay. Is that approximately equal, or the area A versus area
It's
C?
approximately equal. It's within, we're providing 30 square feet more than what existed.
Okay.
So it was slightly greater than 1 to 1, and then in addition, we're doing the invasives removal, and then we have a monitoring plan as part of it to ensure that if some invasives come up in like year 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna take care of those as well. So it really brings the area back to a natural state, free of invasives.
Did you wanna continue with your, the other guys?
We talked enough. If you have any specific questions, we'll answer them, but we can be long-winded. We took note of your 45 minutes. We want to be well under that, so.
Other commissioner questions of clarification?
I have one question. Is this utility pole here that wire going to be buried and there will be like a transformer there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a ground mount transformer.
Got it.
Yep, good question.
Any other questions, clarification? Anybody in the audience have questions of clarification for this application? Anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this application?
Good evening.
You brought him out of retirement.
Yeah.
Neil Marcus, first appearance before a Planning and Zoning Commission since I retired in January.
Ah, yeah.
But I was formerly, as you might recall, with the firm of Cohen and Wolf. Josh is a partner of mine. And when Vin Porzio came to me a number of years, about 2 years ago, with the idea of acquiring a piece of 18 Federal Road, which is a property owned by Landmark, an LLC that's affiliated with Sugar Hollow Associates, which is a company that I'm now in-house counsel for. And, you know, it's a family-owned real estate company with some properties around the Danbury area, one of which is 18 Federal Road. When Vin came to me with his idea, first of all, I thought he was nuts. I mean, I said, this is a lot of money to spend on improving this car wash. But having, listening to Paul about the prior car washes that he's worked on with Vin, I was on a lot of those projects, so I know the work he's done, and quite honestly, he's done some amazing work for car washes. They're great facilities. So when he told me what he had in mind here, after I got up off the floor, I said, "You've got my support." He said, "Well, I need some property from 18 Federal Road." And without a doubt, we said we will cooperate because it makes sense. So we are strongly in favor of this because we think it's a terrific improvement to this neighborhood. Keeping in mind that the property next to us, which used to be Bill DiTullio's, and was last the Indian Motorcycle Showroom, has recently been sold as well. And my suspicion is that they're going to come in, the new owner, and want to improve things up there. And this is a real opportunity because, as Paul said, the existing car wash, which may have been a modern structure in 1983, just doesn't make it today. It's virtually on the roadway, and if we can get it back off the road, it's a huge improvement. So the other thing I'll tell you that I actually was before your predecessor, the Zoning Commission, when we got the site at 18 approved to build what was originally the Lazy Boy Furniture Company. That was Lazy Boy store. And when we acquired that property, if you've looked at that, you'll see that there's a ledge that we cut. We did a lot of blasting. And that's why we have this conservation easement, because there was some concern, well, if you've blasted this out, what are you going to do with the rest of the property? And we said, we're not going to touch it. And then when Stanley Parker was a little bit suspicious, we said, Stanley, we'll make it real easy. We'll conserve the rest of the property. And that's what we did. And interestingly enough, our concern in the blasting was that there would be rocks falling down into the parking lot. I know my clients used to have nightmares about the fact that somebody was going to get crushed, a car or whatever. And the fact of the matter is that the blasting project really went without any incident whatsoever. I think Ed Killian from Earth Movers did the site work, oversaw that. And we blasted a fair amount, probably more than what Paul's talking about here. And it went without a hitch. I mean, there were no problems at all. And the ledge that the cut that we created has been pretty stable, even though we did put in some barriers below it to avoid any rocks from getting onto the parking lot. But to the extent that we knew that there would be blasting involved on Vin's project, we're not, as the next door neighbor, we'd be the most likely party to be concerned, and quite honestly, we're not. We know it can be done, and it can be done properly without a problem. So my appearance here is A, to support the project because I think it just makes sense. B, to indicate that 18 Federal Road is part of this to the extent of the small cut that we're going to make. I did appear before the Conservation Commission with Paul to get the lines redrawn to amend the old conservation easement. And when the commission wanted something done for the invasive species, and Vin offered to do it, they were extremely excited, and I'm pleased that he's done a terrific job in executing on the plan. So at this point, I could offer any history because I go back on the site from the beginning next door. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But in the meantime, I think it's just a terrific improvement. It takes a non-conforming site and makes it not only zoning conforming, but environmentally, it's a terrific upgrade. And from the DOT's point of view, Paul, you didn't mention that we had to do an extensive species study for the DOT to get them to approve the curb cut idea. And that ended up with the additional conservation easement on both properties. And again, it's a win-win. I mean, this is anything you can do to have a commercially successful project that improves the neighborhood and the environment. For me, it's a real win. So I thank you for listening to the history.
All right, thank you. Just a couple
Yes, sir.
questions, or clarifications.
Yes, sir.
The conservation swap is a done deal, right?
Done deal.
That was back in 2024 or something.
Yeah, that was the first thing we had to
But
do.
the lot line revision is not.
No, that requires this approval, actually. If you approve it, then we,
have to stipulate.
yeah. But it's contracted and agreed to. And as I say, we really can't do it until
You don't
the
want it
site
to.
plan is approved. Yeah, otherwise,
Mr. Chair, can I just chime in here? And it's just, perhaps the attorneys want to weigh in on this. The way that this property was legally noticed for this special permit was on 10 Federal Road. It was, I think that there was a misunderstanding, perhaps the lot line revision had already occurred. 18 was not legally noticed in our public hearing notice, and I'm just concerned for a procedural error.
Could we continue with the next month to address Mr. Connor's comment and renotice it with the 18 on it?
I mean, that is a
Oh, yeah,
possibility.
that's what you should do. Yes, yeah.
That's after I
Yeah.
noticed that today.
Yeah, I think that was an
Yeah.
oversight that it just was assumed.
It was written as 10 on all the application materials, so when it was received.
Yep, but it will be,
So we
and
can renotice our certificates, our mailings. We'll do a new mailing as well for next month.
So you have to go one more property over and up, yeah.
that's correct. We'll notify the
We
next
did in our
address.
original mailings, but we'll do
Okay,
Yeah, good catch.
all right, thank you.
You haven't lost it, Laura. I've been gone for 4 or 5 months, you haven't lost it.
Haven't seen you in a while.
All right, any questions for the attorney while he's up here?
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick. Any other, like to speak in favor of the application? Hearing no more, anybody would like to speak in opposition? All right, nobody's wants to speak in opposition. Since we'd like to get some more comments, I'd like to continue this public hearing, keep it open for a couple of reasons we just talked about. Public notice for 18 Federal Road as well, since it's part of this.
Right.
And also to get the fire marshal's comments back after he reviews his site more. So I'll take a motion for that.
I'll make a motion as noted by Chairman Timmerman.
All right, thank you, Tony. Do I have a second to continue the public hearing?
Second.
Thank you, Craig. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Thank you.
Thanks so
All
much for
right.
your time, everyone. Have a
Yep,
great evening.
you too.
Take care.
evening.
Warmer days are ahead, it looks like.
Yeah, yes.
We
Free
started
car
with the
wash.
hot air tonight. We're going to lead into the weekend.
All right.
Good night.
Take care.
Let's continue to the March 28th meeting, May 28th. not
May
March.
28th.
There's no old business, new business, 7A, 143 Federal Road, application Z-26-36. Do we have the applicant here for that?
May or continue in a month?
Yes, okay, if you'd like to approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Of course, good evening. My name is Andres Villacres, V-I-L-L-A-C as in cat, R-E-S as in Sam. And I am representing and work with Iona, headquartered in 4022 Stirrup Creek Drive, Durham, North Carolina, 27703. Suite number 315. I apologize. I poorly planned my trip and my flight ran late, so I wasn't able to pick up a beautiful poster to present the project to the commissioners here. So
We have them on our computers here.
fantastic. So A brief overview of this project: we are proposing to install four. We're proposing to install four level 3 DC fast chargers as an accessory use to the shopping center located at 143 Federal Way in the ShopRite parking lot. These would consist of 3 CCS dispensers, dual port. So CCS is the non-Tesla charger, charging at a level 3 or higher, and then 1 NACS, commonly known as the Tesla plug. Here again, dual port, and we are Ihana. We're expanding very quickly around the United States. Currently have 109 sites live around the country. And we are a very aggressive push owned by 8 auto manufacturers, by BMW, GM, Hyundai, Honda, Stellantis, Mercedes, Toyota. I probably forgot one. I should have this memorized by now. But fully privately funded, so no worries about us depending on NEMI funding. And we have already coordinated with Eversource here and to bring power to the site. A little bit about our chargers. As a DC level 3 charger, we can charge cars typically, depending on weather and age of battery, from 0 to 80% in about 30 minutes, and a full charge within 45 to an hour. If it's colder weather, that could increase times by a little bit, but overall, we're offering only level 3 and to bring a higher customer experience to EV drivers. And I'd love to open up here for any questions, concerns the public may have. Thank you.
Sure. When I looked at your the reason you're here because you have not only, you have the chargers.
Yes.
You have your 4 pedestals with the 2 ports, but you have a cabinet that's, large to supply all the power to it. So if it was just the chargers and stuff like that, I know it's an accessory use. I can't remember as of right.
Depends on the level of charger. It varies on
Yeah.
what permit is required
Was
for
it the level 2 just, well, they look the same, pretty much the same.
Sure.
But the cabinet you have to supply it, just like Tesla superchargers have this big electrical cabinet. And
Yes, sir.
you propose to put that across from Brookfield Social, well, I don't know if you know the businesses there. But for the commissioners, there's a little area of grass where across from Brookfield Social is, that your main electrical cabinet that feeds all these chargers would go.
Yes, and that's away from the right-of-way just to keep it out of view. And just for full transparency, it's 2 cabinets. It's going to be the transformer. Well, it'll be the transformer and the switchgear cabinet, so it'll be 2 pieces of electrical equipment.
In looking at the picture, just for, it's going to actually be.
Oh, maybe 2 over.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be more closer to the open stretch, more towards the bank.
Yeah.
Than
Oh, the bank's here.
Yeah, that's
Brookfield
social. Right,
yeah.
and it looks like it's here.
So this little green area.
Yeah.
So the chargers will be along Federal Road.
Within view, yes.
Yeah, they'll be parallel to that. And your box, your electrical cabinet, will be kind of across the drive, the interior drive.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it looks pretty straightforward how you do them, similar to Tesla superchargers. You know, they have their big box somewhere to supply it all, and then they have their chargers there. I see you have striping.
Yes. And we have 1 ADA dispenser to allow for van parking.
Is that the one to the left?
Yes, and you can see we have an ADA path of travel going into the development.
So the pods are sideways to Federal Road, each of the pedestals, and they have 2 cables that come out to go to each to the other side.
Yes, dual port dispenser, so 2 cars can charge at 1 at a time, or both cars can charge at 1 at a time.
For the commission, the Brookfield is on the EV corridor, so we I don't know if we signed up for it or we proclaimed, since we're on Route 7. Route 7 is an EV corridor, and trying to have charging for people who travel along Route 7 to get off, charge, and then continue on their way. For example, up in New Milford, they have a supercharger up there in a Sonic.
Yep.
And so the same idea, people can come along Route 7 and just like they could during an interstate, and find these level 3 chargers. How are you? How does someone pay for this? What's the agreement here as far as an app that you guys have specifically, or is it a different type of app?
Good question. Best way to compare it is if you go to a gas station, it's tap to pay is the main way you can pay. And then with some of our OEM or auto manufacturer partners, I know BMW and GM just released this out to their drivers, and the other manufacturers will come soon. You can set up, just like if you drive a Tesla, you can set up an account with Tesla in your dashboard, have your credit card details there, plug and play and go. So that's going to be offered to, right now, open to BMW and GM and more of the manufacturers to come soon. But for now, we don't have an app. You can just go up, tap to pay, plug in, done. And once you're done charging, unplug, it'll see how much it costs to fill up and drive away.
It's
So,
similar to like the EV Go.
yes,
Okay.
but better.
Yeah, no, I don't have an EV, so they're irrelevant to me, but yes.
Hopefully we can get you in one after this one goes live.
How many spots does this cabinet take up that you're planning on putting in? And how does that agreement go with the businesses that are existing as far as their parking is concerned?
Good question. There's going to be a net loss of 5 stalls for this whole development, and there's an REA in place already with the landlord. We've had I'm blanking the exact terminology, but we've already had sign-offs from the landlord and their tenants here. So we're a little bit further away from the main center, but still in the parking lot. So we've had it's all kosher. We have our agreements, and I can share our lease agreement with the landlord to the planning commission after.
I'm just thinking, like you brought up Brookfield Social, which is a fairly new business there. That cabinet specifically is right in their prime.
Well, you know
parking
what, I
area.
was wrong, it was one more row away.
Right, yeah.
Well, no, because that's the entrance, so this is their prime parking area. So it's on that back leg of their prime
Yeah.
parking area.
Right, but if the
So-
diagram is right, that curb is there. There might be a spot that it's losing, but where you turn.
Plus, yeah, there is a curb there, but I
Yeah.
believe it's just a narrow.
No, I'm thinking that there's, that's why I asked, because the
Yeah.
farther you get closer to, Social,
Yep.
it's wider, or it's more narrow. But closer to the bank, I thought that there was a bigger hook. I could be wrong, but I thought that was there. Because they
Yeah, I
put
think-
that there for the people that turn off of Federal Road to come into the spot.
Yeah.
So you can turn, and that's where this is at.
Okay. Yeah. No, it is there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, but like I said, it's late, I've been up for a while.
Actually,
That's how you exit.
It's good that they move it to an area that's farthest away from ShopRite and some
Yeah.
of these high
No, I
use.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the impact and where that would be. Okay.
Will there be bollards around the electrical equipment? Yes. Okay.
I guess I have a two, perhaps three-part question. One, if, like, in terms of the maintenance from past experience on equipment like this,
Sure.
how much, of course, wear and tear goes off of use, climate, all sorts of other stuff. How often do you typically expect this stuff to honestly need either replacement or refurbishment?
Of course, besides vandalism, our chargers, Alpatronic, based in Italy, some of these are manufactured in Wisconsin here locally in the stateside actually. They're pretty high quality chargers. We pride ourselves on a higher driver experience, which is why we chose with this more expensive Alpatronic option to be our main deployment. So we haven't had much experience with wear and tear yet. We're still fairly new, 2 years old as a company, so we'll come to find out. But if there's anything that goes down, we partnered nationwide with Pierce Renewables and some other electric maintenance firms across the nation.
Sure.
If a charger goes down, we are there on site within 24 hours. If we lose connection and we can't get a hold of a maintenance tech, we'll send one of our field guys in HQ on the next plane out there. So we're very aggressive in maintaining a high quality site.
Proactive approach.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And we actively monitor the sites via an internal system we've built. So if anything goes down, we're immediately pinged and we action it as quick as possible.
How easy or how, what would be the process? Let's say that BYD, Alpine, or any other EV manufacturer decides to enter the United States, because I know BYD is selling in Canada or will be soon. Same thing potentially with Alpine, and let's say 5 years from now there's a complete paradigm shift in how EVs are recharged, or some of the stuff that's done overseas where you just like straight up replace the battery and then the plug-in method just isn't a thing anymore. How, like, I guess to go back, like, how would you modify the clip? Or is that just a simple sending, like you said before, servicing the network that you have so that you're able to service a new manufacturer to enter the United States?
Repeat the last part, sorry.
How would you manufacture the plug?
Oh, I see. So currently,
Or service the plug if, let's say, BYD, in order as a condition to sell, said, "Cool, we're going to have to use our own our own system."
good question. And full transparency, I don't know which plug BYD uses in North America right now. I want to say the NACS charger, but
Right.
I don't know that 100%, so
Sure.
please don't quote me.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Right now, all the auto manufacturers from Rivian and BMW, GM, Honda, Hyundai,
Lucid.
they're all slowly and Lucid.
Yeah.
They're all slowly moving towards the NACS plug to be the North American standard now, and they're moving away from CCS. So I want to get to the future tech in a second, but that allows us. Our chargers have essentially detachable plugs. Think of it as Legos. So we're anticipating a major NACS shift in the next few years. So when that comes, we can easily switch out the cables, and the charging unit can stay the same as a level 3 DC. That much doesn't change. Now, as future technology comes, we'll go with the times, right?
Right.
If BYD comes stateside, I hope they use the NACS charger to allow for easier transition into their market here, and it'll be to their benefit too, because you have a lot of people around the country. I believe the number is 3 million EV drivers on the road. And if everybody moves to NACS, I think it'll be BYD's benefit to be NACS here in the United States.
So there isn't any kind of planned obsolescence, or if there is if there is a shift, these things obviously won't be like immediately obsolete.
Of course,
Okay.
and to give further context, with the auto manufacturers being our owners, it's in their best interest to have the network be as up to date as possible with their cars. So
cool. Thank you.
Of course. What does this wash station mean?
Sure. The wash station is just for like at a gas station where you wash your windows with a little.
Oh, so you'll have a squeegee.
Squeegee, thank you. Yeah.
I see you also have a pet waste station. Who will be responsible for maintaining those items?
We will. So we will have, depending on use, we start off daily janitorial, like inspection, partner with the firm again, clean out the doggy waste trash bin, and then they'll come daily to a couple every other days, depending on use. So we monitor, start off daily, and then depending on use, increase or decrease that.
Okay.
I was just curious, how do you prevent non-EV vehicles from parking any of these spots, especially like a busy Thanksgiving weekend, right? You know, ShopRite's packed.
It's a good question. We will have EV parking only signage as an agreement with our tenant, as they have reserved this spot for EV chargers. And kind of an earlier question here, our landlord, it's the same landlord as all the other tenants on the property, so any REA or agreements we have, it's with the other tenants as well. Obviously, if somebody ends up parking there, we can't prevent it, and if we notice an issue via customer complaints, via the phone number available on site, or they can leave us a ticket, we will address accordingly.
It's funny you mentioned that, Scott, because when we were doing the EV regs a few years back, we talked about that and whether the police were willing to put in an ordinance to have a ticket for it, but we didn't go that far. So signage.
Yeah.
So you could,
and
for
that's
ice
it.
cars. Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Are there any trees that are going to be taken out because of this? Because I think all the electrical comes in through the driveway.
Comes in underground, yes.
Okay, so all the trees that are there now are.
We intend to remain the trees, although full transparency, I wish I had the plans in front of me, but you can refer to the demo plan to ensure. But I believe we're not demoing any trees.
Any other questions from commissioners? No? I know it looks pretty. I mean, I'm glad that we're adding a little more charging here, because the town's getting some chargers too, but they're level 2. It'd be nice to have a level 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, coming from the.
You have our contacts. If you want some level 3, let us know. We'd love to work out something.
Yep.
So everybody, how do you think of it?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve 143 Federal Road Z-26-36 WB Engineering for the site plan modification for the EV charging stations in the commercial parking lot.
All right, thank you, Tony. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Any more discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Didn't steal one document. All right, table items, none. Commissioner comments and informal discussion. The first one we have is Alice Fitzsimmons at 902 Federal Road. If you'd like to step up to the podium. And, state your name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Alice Fitzsimmons. I'm with Coldwell Banker Commercial. I live at 4900 Acres Road, Newtown, Connecticut. Okay, so today, this is, I won't take up too much of your time, really, just a couple questions. So I represent 902 Federal Road. The Gatas own this property. You might be familiar with it. It's kind of a development site in the TCD district. It was formerly, you know, a retail. It's kind of fallen into a state of deferred maintenance at this point. We do have it listed. We have had several offers on this property. Unfortunately and sadly, Mr. Gata has since passed. So we are in a bit of a different position now, able to accept some folks that formerly, you know, weren't appealing to him. So really I'm here to ask a couple of questions and also to get a sense of moving forward, what would be acceptable on this site. So trying to understand, when I have conversations with these developers, what guidance can I give them?
902, is that the inland water or is that the beach? Oh, that one, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 3.2 acres, TCD. It's adjacent to a residential property and a couple other commercial uses. We did go under contract with a company called Coastal Lux. They're a developer out of Westport. They build very high quality luxury homes, multifamily townhouses. That individual did meet with WPCA and was kind of discouraged from moving forward. Well, the moratorium was in place, but also wastewater usage, you know, it was unclear.
Yeah.
So my questions are, I do believe 830G is expiring soon. Is that correct? The moratorium on that is expiring?
June 4th, is it?
I believe 6.
Oh, 6 in June.
June 6th, okay. Okay, and the moratorium on multifamily, that is being voted early January of '27?
Well, that's good through December 6th.
26, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact day in December.
Or 26, and then it will expire, is that correct?
Necessarily,
It depends on what the commission does going forward.
Oh. Can
know, if
you
they-
elaborate
the-
on that?
The reason we had that moratorium was for the one issue you mentioned, sewer capacity.
Yes.
And if we hit that sewer capacity at 90%, then the sewer commission puts their own moratorium on. And so not only does multifamily housing stop, but all commercial development stops, because they all need to hook into the sewer
Right.
along that federal
Right,
road.
of course.
So we would have to reassess, how's the sewer going? Did we buy more capacity? We'd have to meet with the sewer commissioner or request from them to have them come forward and tell us about what the current status is.
Okay.
And of course, they have their own meetings that are public, that anybody, well, not anybody can go, but I'm sure they can go and listen. You might want to request, just like you're here now, an informal or something.
Yeah.
Not quite sure how they run their meetings.
We did with Coastal Lux. I wasn't in attendance, but one of their liaisons from the company did go to WPCA, and he learned a bit. But
And when was that? Was that this year, 2026?
no, it was in 25.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe it was. It could have. It was months ago. So, okay, and I think that kind of answers it, and as I said, I'll keep it quick, but, so when I talk to these folks, because we will now go back to probably 4 or 5 of these individuals who have offered on this property, different proposals, all of them. What's kind of the guidance of this commission and the sense of the town? I've heard different things. I grew up in this town and things have changed a lot. I for one want to see something, you know, that's appealing to folks. My dad still lives here. So, you know, obviously we know lower density. What's the sense of something like this coming before the commission and getting approved?
Well, if you're talking just regular, you know, non-830G, we just went through the POCD, and part of the moratorium was to decide when we went through that POCD. We looked at density, we looked at setbacks, because currently you have to be between 6 and 25 feet off the road, and in hindsight, and looking at some of the apartments that went up, we thought maybe it should be pushed back as you go north on Federal Road there.
Okay.
So I think the density and the look, you know, now right now the TCD does have a style guideline, so in our regs, you know, we want sort of a New England look, gabled roofs, all that. Currently you have to have mixed use, so you have to have, you know, commercial on the bottom and apartments on the top. So going north, of course, you're at 902, you're in the TCD. Going north, you know, in the gateway, you know, there is no mixed use requirement. So that's what it is now. 830G kind of, you know, throws that out the window, as you know. So, we still want something nice looking, you know, townhouses or New England style. And I guess I would go, to really do 2 things. Look at our style guideline, which is Appendix 2 of our regs. And then also look at our POCD and see what our goals are for that area. Because we want to look at the regs based on that new POCD to see what we want to do in that particular zone. Because you know, we hear feedback from the town. Some people like the apartments, some people don't, and the density they might think is too much. So we have to piece through all that. Remember what we had during the POCD and all our public hearings and everything, and decide how do we want to tweak the TCD regulations. And so that we wanted to get done before December. And the reason we wanted, we gave ourselves almost 2 years, I think, was because we were combined as a commission a year ago.
Right.
And so we had planning and zoning people come together, and now we had to learn each other's, you know, bailiwick. And so that's gives us time to get, you know, more knowledgeable about each other's expertise, and then write the regulations correctly. So what sort of ideas did you have?
Well, I mean, you know, they're all different. The folks that we were under contract with are, you know, a pretty high quality luxury product, lower density. They're Coastal Luxe, you can look into them. We will probably go back to them and see if they want to move forward with their former offer. So, you know, that's what I can share with them. They've done a lot of work in Westport. He comes from a single family background, $3 to $5 million range. I think it would be a wonderful addition to that area. You know, he's open to doing rentals or homes for sale, the townhouses for sale. So either one would work, depending on what he can and can't get approved. Can you elaborate? So you're saying that 902 is within the corridor that would require a mixed use?
Yes.
To be done there?
TCD as a zone requires mixed use.
Is that something new, or is that has that always been the case? Has always been the case.
And the prime example of it is right there at the 4 corners.
Yes. And TCDP is not a mixed use requirement. Is that correct? Perimeter.
Oh, so in the back of the TCD was Laurel Hill Drive, which is residential, and it switched all over to commercial. But we wanted to add back their residential rights they had before, cause they're mostly houses back there.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's in the perimeter.
I
That
don't
was an
believe it's in
overlay.
it.
That wa-
That's an overlay district.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
so
believe
you-
they're still solidly in the TC district because
Yeah.
as staff, we've met with this real estate agent and I believe that company
Yeah.
and informed them of the moratorium.
But he is TCDP?
I don't think so, cause I work two properties up, and the perimeter zone
Right.
is on Laurel Hill Drive.
Right,
Yeah,
I
mine.
think that is correct.
Property. Unless you're talking, unless that property goes back to the house, there's a property back there on Laurel Hill Drive. I know it's very deep.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're related to each other.
Yeah, okay. Yep, so, again, really just here, it's their property and they would like to sell the property. It's in a state of deferred maintenance. It is an eyesore and it's not doing anything for the town. We do have several offers. We're going to go back to these people and see, what they would like to do. So I'm sure people will be appearing before this commission, in regards to their plans for this. I'm kind of just asking questions, letting you guys know what's coming down the pipeline. But I think overall this is helpful. Was there anything?
Well, there are development meetings before you guys
Of
even
course,
come
yeah.
here that you had with land use, and they know what the regs are.
Right.
And they can look at.
Yeah, kind of just trying to get a sense. And then also the moratorium being, so we're saying December of '26, it's being revisited? Is that?
Revisit it, if we feel that we've gotten all the regulations done that we want to.
Okay.
And that the sewer capacity is still okay.
Okay.
Um,
Then it will be subject to a vote? Is
yeah,
that
oh yeah.
correct? Okay.
I mean, it will expire unless we do re-vote on it.
Right.
Okay.
Now, we kind of pushed it already, it was like a year and a half or something like that, so the state looks with askance at us if we try to push it too long.
Well, that's helpful because that's everyone's first question when I speak to them about this. Obviously they're gonna go under their feasibility for a long period of time, so they've got, time to hold the property and to prepare, but, they all wanna know, so
Yeah,
this is
sure.
helpful. Thank you.
And I know too, Federal
it's
Road
an
is straight
aquifer.
Town Center District, not P.
The TCD,
That's-
okay.
That's the, different district.
No, this is the lot right here, and half of it's in that blue. Does that imply an aquifer?
Oh, yeah, there is an aquifer there.
Yeah, so half the property is on an aquifer.
What
and
would the,
it's TCD, not TCDP.
right, what would the likelihood of, them being granted a zone change to TCDP if they elected to not put a commercial component into their development?
Oh, well, that P does not remove that requirement. That P is only for people, single lots, they can still put a single house on it. It preserves their single residence capability on their properties. So,
But there's precedence of multifamily projects without a
well, you can
mixed
put
use.
multifamily, but when you put multifamily into TCD without using that overlay or that perimeter thing, then you have to hew to that mixed use. Unless we make some changes. There are some, and of course you don't have interior buildings, but if you did, on Brookfield Village, just down the road, if you're far enough away and you're an interior building, then you did not have to put retail on the first floor because nobody walks all the way back off of Federal Road. Federal Road is the commercial corridor, which is why we had the retail or
Right.
down there, the commercial.
If it were an 830G situation, would that same requirement be in place?
No. 830G,
building
it's just
here
health and
now.
safety. And then we
It's
hope,
not
you follow and make it nice looking.
Yep.
Area is empty.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
As I said, I grew up here, so I wanna pick the right person and so do the gate is, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I think that's
30%
it,
of the
yeah.
property, this
Helpful,
portion's
thank you.
Or this portion
Alright.
is not.
Any other questions from commissioners? Just one conversation, because the recording secretary has a tough time writing everything. You're welcome. All right, anything else? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Request for driveway cut review. I don't know if you guys read these. And, oh, sure. Was this different than the,
So, these, we do have an applicant for one of the curb cuts that is being proposed,
In code?
presented in case that they needed, if the commission had any questions as far as the recommendation to give the Board of Selectmen.
yes.
But I don't think anyone, I'm not sure how much the commission has the background on this yet.
So the background is that currently curb cuts are controlled by the Public Works Department. Or that, he's the agent for the Board of Selectmen. Board of Selectmen controls it, and the Public Works Department, and the Public Works Department looks at sight lines and other things like that. But this Board of Selectmen thought it may be best, instead of an ordinance, putting him in charge, that the zoning commission might take over. But at the very least, for right now, he would like our opinion on some of these curb cuts when we look at sight lines. And even if we took it over, we would still defer to the DPW for their expertise for sight lines and how close to the edge. But there are regulations, and you know them, they're in the, Scott, they're in the planning regs.
Right.
In the zoning regs, there are none. So for single-family homes, there are no regulations governing driveway cuts. So,
There are some recommendations within the ordinances, though,
yeah, so
particularly about the second curb cuts.
the idea would be to take whatever's in the ordinance, look at what plan he's got, make something consistent, maybe put it into technical standards in section 6, and then, and regulations that apply those to both subdivisions, which exist already,
yeah.
and then the subdivision regs would refer to the zoning regs for those technical details, and then the zoning regs would have single-family homes also referred to it, so that we would be consistent. They'd be in one place. So with that, if you'd like to state your name and address?
I just want to make sure, so I'm for 7 Cove Road, I want to make sure I'm not
Yeah, that's fine.
skipping over anybody.
No,
Okay.
no, there's two. There was 7 Cove
Yes.
Road, and there was Green Knoll Drive.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, in 36.
Yep.
30, yeah.
I'm Jackie Alward. I'm last name Aylward. I'm a project manager with Brook Clark Landscape Architects, representing client's name is Greg Giaski at 7 Cove Road. I don't have an easel, but I'm sure you guys. I also have small printouts if you guys need them, or if you have them on your computers. I don't know what's easier.
I'll take a small picture.
Yeah, sure.
Because the computer goes slow.
Or
I think they're underpowered.
Probably has like 2 gigs of RAM.
I'm thinking it's operator error, because mine's working fine.
I already got 50 windows open.
I know, there's the problem. Too many windows. I'm gonna take a piece of paper. We can share one. Oh, you got it. Okay, that's fine.
Does anybody else want to print it?
Thank you.
I'll watch this.
I was just gonna say, he's got the EV car, he can't work the computer.
You know, it's touchscreen, right, like the car? Does that work better for you?
Okay, so similar to what you're saying, so what we did is there's an existing driveway, and we're proposing an additional curb cut. We went to Public Works Department, bumped us to First Selectman about a month ago, and then First Selectman then bumped us here. So right now, we are only asking for the additional curb cut. Possibly in 2 weeks, we probably are asking for that proposed garage, but this was all submitted before we knew we had to come to your board. So right now, just an additional curb cut, max 10% for grading on the driveway. Speed limit is 35. Sight distances going, I guess, what is that? Let's see here.
83 and 420.
West is, 388 and 420 north. What else? We already have approval from wetlands, so we had a little bit of tree removal in that area. Most of it was further on the other side of the property. A retaining wall on the side of the driveway at maximum 4 feet, so it'll be non-structural, just to retain a bit of grade there. what else? That's pretty much it. We're reworking the other side of the driveway. That, I mean, it doesn't need approval from you guys, but I might as well show it.
So you show a driveway, the existing driveway came in from the left, came
Yep.
over and curved around to, what, one under garage or something like that? Just a regular garage at grade?
Yeah, so there's this guy is not there yet. I'll probably see you guys in 2 weeks for that guy. But yeah, right now it's just going into a garage within
Within the house.
but I have actually a different map that might be a little easier to read. Let's
The garage is usually not in front of us anyway.
It's over the size limit.
Oh dear, I guess.
Yes, it is well over the size limit. If this is a little easier to read, this is just an overlay that actually, the first selectman he requested when I first gave this to him. So that's
Oh, I
just
see.
GIS.
Yep.
You can see the existing driveway and the proposed,
Yep.
proposed curb cut. So 2 curb cuts.
And why?
This driveway is extremely hard to back around. Laura knows firsthand, when you go in, you can pull in pretty easily, but to back up and turn around and go out that way, you have to make like a million K turns. I myself have.
Driving for the record.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't blame you.
Clearly witness too.
Oh, I tell people not to look at me when I'm backing out of their driveways, so.
So with this proposed driveway, you're basically making a circular driveway so you can just
Exactly.
keep driving.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah, I see.
I have existing site photos if that would be helpful as well, but it's pretty
It's pretty wooded down here.
wooded, a little less wooded. We just did some tree removal. But you can see, let's see here.
So it'd be coming from here.
Yes, so that's the existing driveway. That's the road right there. You come down, you go straight into, this is the garage there, and then we're proposing the additional driveway there. So right now it's just lawn in the front, and we took down a few trees. That was approved by wetlands up there.
Here's the scale.
Oh, that.
So it looks like it's about 80 feet long,
Yeah.
approximately.
Out of curiosity, and maybe I'm wrong, because it looks like there's enough space. I see where your tanks are with the line coming to the septic fields on the other side of the driveway, the existing driveway.
Yep.
And then there's also a second path of the septic, and I'm assuming that both of those, because there's a T between the 2 fields.
Mm-hmm.
Where or how close does that driveway encroach to the septic field? Or does it? There.
So, let's see here.
Yeah, I'm looking at
So yeah, you can see,
these 2 fields.
so these are the fields. We're not touching this edge of the driveway at all. That edge will remain.
Okay.
And then we're actually taking away a little bit of the driveway where the tank is. You could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line, we're cutting back actually a little bit there.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, because I'm assuming this is already existing.
Yeah, that's all
So
existing,
that's,
yeah.
but with the proposed piece to come down
Yeah.
this way, how close is the driveway to the, and like I said, it's hard to tell on the
Yeah.
diagram. What I'm wondering is, the sanitarium signed off as far as your septic being okay with the additional driveway.
I did an informal review with you guys, was that January?
Did you meet with Paul at all?
Yes, Paul Avery, he stopped in for a couple minutes. He looked at it super quickly. It was an informal review,
Yeah,
but
no.
he looked at it very quickly. He didn't see any issues.
Okay.
but-
Like I said, I don't know if there's an issue. It looks,
It's close, yeah, definitely.
The existing, like even the existing driveway on the far left side looks very close to the
Yeah.
field, which is why, like I said, it's existing, so it had to be signed off.
Definitely,
So,
right?
but that,
I hope so.
But that's the reason why I'm asking for for that other part. This looks farther away.
Yeah, yeah.
But if there's any sort of issues, especially because the tanks are on the opposite side of the driveway.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So, yeah, it's something, good question.
So our role here is to recommend or not, you know, the second curb cut based on what we look at. And actually, I would defer to Scott and Mark, because you were in planning and you saw more of this stuff as far as curb cuts and driveways go in subdivision regs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any issues here.
I
So,
have no
yeah,
issue
yeah.
with it.
So, you know, when the next one we'll talk about is in a denser neighborhood. This is
Yeah.
very wooded,
Mhm.
and then this provides some circulation here,
Mhm.
and it still looks like, you know, a single family home, which it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I have one question. The
Yeah.
garage that you tend to put up, is it also going to be an ADU?
No, it's just a garage. I'll submit that no bathroom, no living, anything, just a big garage. He has a big boat that he wants to park in his big garage.
Oh.
Well, we like that.
Someone's been watching our videos.
I can see here the existing, or the proposed driveway that leads into the garage.
Yep.
It looks like it will lead into half of the garage, so it'll only have one garage door, or?
No, there's so many lines, sorry about that.
So I see like the red, is it just leading to like a door on the
So the red
left?
is actually, that's existing to be
Oh,
removed,
sorry.
and you
Oh.
can see this black line, that's the driveway, and then this black line is the
Oh, so
driveway.
the, yeah,
I wanna say it's a 3-car garage.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that until I come in 2 weeks with the plans, but.
does the owner wanna, I'm just curious, does the owner wanna convert the existing garage space into
No,
like,
he
okay,
just wants
okay,
more space for his toys.
okay.
I mean, I think it works for me. You
Yeah,
know.
I don't
think
see an issue with
changes
it.
the neighborhood and it helps the circulation.
Yeah, I'm,
Helps with safety and getting in and out
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with this. My only concern, and it's not for ours, it's our purview, is the septic.
Yeah.
It's a good reason why the making the change in the zoning regulations, because as of right now, this doesn't go through a normal process. Besides from sightline reviewing with Public Works, it doesn't track like a normal zoning permit through all the different departments for the checkoffs.
Right.
So you bring up a valid concern that I honestly don't think anyone has considered for many years.
Right.
Yeah.
No, like I
When it
said,
was built.
and again, I'm tying in at all three of them. Again, the driveway, the fact that the tank is on the other side to the septic field.
But that just even that there was no mechanism for the health department to even review it.
Correct. And again, putting in the driveway, if the driveway clears, again, they put in the permit for that. I guarantee the sanitarian's not gonna look at this, cause it's not gonna be in the purview.
Yeah, so taking over driveways and zoning and planning, we'll we'll start creating the checkoff system for
Mhm.
all the other
Correct.
people.
But it still has to come from upstairs.
No,
that's-
we would take it over.
We would take
from
it
them.
over.
No, but that has to go through the process to be assigned, to
So the process.
be
as-
our job.
So the process right now, it's an ordinance, so that
Yeah.
what they would do if the zoning commission wanted to take this on and tackle it as far as adding it to the zoning regulations, we'd probably write a draft zoning regulation, once everyone is okay with the verbiage, or have it coincide with the subdivision regulations, which we might wanna update while we were there. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, cause you guys have nothing to do. I like to keep y'all busy. Then, once they would do it, they would actually take away, they would vote as far as the ordinance with the
Yeah.
Board of Selectmen to remove that ordinance, and it would live with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
But that would have to happen before we have any power or say or
Right
anything.
now-
That's right, the only say we have is a recommendation.
Right. Right.
It's almost like a
Yeah, and
referral.
I have no problem with, taking the time and all of that. But until they say it is now yours, we don't
Until they
really
say
have.
it is now yours, they're asking you to weigh in and say.
Yeah, they're
"See,
just,
I'm
they're
not
just
for
saying-
opinion."
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
We
our
defer to
opinion.
you anyhow.
To summarize,
Offer
I don't
something.
see a problem with the two-way driveway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
no,
said, I
it's-
don't,
I think
yeah,
it's definitely an improvement for that
I agree.
accessibility.
yeah, like I said, I'm not,
Well, so at this point, I would ask for a motion to make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen that we
Positive referral?
a positive referral for this driveway.
Do you wanna put stipulation on getting those other steps to be taken into
We can't,
consideration?
I don't think we have the
Under our
authority to do that.
recommendation?
Yeah, we can say a
We can add
recommendation
those,
is,
like,
Right.
for-
yeah, yeah. So,
That, say the sanitarian
so why
actually
don't I
looks at
say
those.
the motion and someone can, raise it. A motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen a positive referral for this driveway cut, take into consideration also, sanitary requirements for the sewer and septic fields and any other, mechanical, interferences that might be there.
Or departments that should be looking
Or
at it.
departments that should be looking at it. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Oh, great. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Greg. Discussion on the motion? None? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
So,
So
going
our-
forward.
So now our recommendation will go to the Board of Selectmen, and you probably have to go back to, I don't know if you have to go
I don't know if
back
you're
to.
gonna have to be there, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I'll double check.
Okay.
If you touch base with me tomorrow
Yeah.
or by Monday,
Okay.
I'll have a better idea on the process.
Okay.
The Board of
Sounds
Selectmen will
good.
still have to vote on that.
They will
Yeah.
still
Based
have
on
to
our
vote
Right.
on it, but
Right.
they might,
Yeah.
they've already seen it
But-
a couple times.
Right.
Okay, so then it's first selectman, I'll touch base with you, first selectman might have to vote on it, but,
They will vote.
Well, they
or
will.
they
They
will,
will
yes,
vote it,
they
yeah.
will. And then I go back to Public Works and get the driveway permit, I'm assuming,
Yes,
Correct.
seems.
You'll
Alright,
get the curb cut permit, yes.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Clear as
Alright,
mud.
yeah, I'm glad I could help change all the rules for this. Do you guys need any extra copies of any of this?
Um, no, cause I wouldn't know where to put them. I mean, Laura wouldn't know where to put
Put
them.
'em.
I love giving
I-
Laura all
I
the
could-
I was gonna say,
copies.
Laura has plenty of
I could
copies
do
of
that.
this particular site.
Yes.
I have been out there.
Yep, just get ready for more in 2 weeks. For the garage,
Okay.
that's a whole nother
Sounds like,
thing.
you're done with wetlands.
Dear God, I hope so. All right, well, thank you all.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Thank you, yeah, you too.
The second driveway cut we're talking about is at
36 Green Knoll.
36, because I have an old agenda. 36 Green Knoll.
Looks like
Were you guys on the commission? So we gave approval for a ADU on a special permit on this house. It's around the curve on Green Knoll. And the ADU is at the shaded area on the picture. So
so they want
they want
separate
that driveway coming up to there. And the zoning commission's feeling, I mean, the Board of Selectmen's feeling is that it's starting to look like a duplex, or starting to look like not single-family homes in there. As opposed to a circular drive, which would provide, a way to do it. And I don't know if you could put a circular drive here, so.
Is that on a hill?
I don't know what the,
I don't
Do
think
they-
there's room in the front there.
There is no, yeah,
To
no.
do that, that
No,
would,
yeah.
would even look,
Between taking the trees out,
so the
You
Board of
consider
Select,
runoff too, like from if it's like when the ice melts and then if it freezes again, if it's gonna run off onto the street. If it's on
Yes.
a hill.
so the Board of Selectmen wasn't too enamored with it. And I can see why. I mean, there's a single family,
It's not circular
Zone.
like the other one.
yeah, it's not circular. I understand why they want it, but it changes, I guess, an ADU is not supposed to change the residential character
Right.
of the neighborhood. And I feel that this does, I've seen others that have two driveways to the two different units.
Right.
And so it starts looking like a duplex.
Right.
And that's not what a ADU is supposed to be. You're not even supposed to know the ADU's there.
Right.
You're not supposed to have, obvious, it'll have a second entrance, but, like duplexes have two doors right next to each other, and so you know what that is. I don't think the neighbors, I don't know if the neighbors are not, that would be in favor of it. They probably went to the Board of Selectmen, and whether they did or not, or they even know about it. So, and that's my feeling on it. That's the reason why, was because of the residential character and the type of driveway. I mean, if it was, and they don't have the possibility here, I doubt, but creating a circular driveway as in the last one,
Mhm.
where for circulation and ease of use, and it doesn't change the character. I mean, there's, by the way, on the regulations, usually you only get one curb cut for residents. And I think, yeah, there are times when you need two curb cuts, like in the prior example.
Right.
Especially like there's houses on Route 25 on busy roads. You don't wanna
Stony
be
Hill
trying.
Road.
Right, Stony Hill Road.
Stony Hill Road, Route 25, you know, those sort of roads.
Right.
Where a circular drive, it creates a safer, way of getting in and out than trying to back out.
Yeah, I personally, I think this is a driveway for convenience, not
Yeah, this is,
necessity.
this is a very low traffic road.
Right.
Yeah, this is to add a private, no, not private, a separate driveway for the ADU.
Right.
I mean, the other solution to this would be to bring the walk all the way over, which I imagine they might have planned, but it wasn't on the, I don't know if it was on the plans when it came from.
Well, even if the walk goes over there, the walk is the irrelevant part, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
There, again, going back to the essence of what the ADU is for.
Yes.
This is, and again, I'm gonna use, this is my own opinion, this is parents that don't want their kids to block their driveway, so they're gonna put an ADU in and let all their knucklehead friends park on their driveway so they can come and go. That's not necessarily a rationale of a curb cut.
Yeah, Oh, you're looking at, yeah, you can see that's, it's like a pie shape.
Yeah, that's the back part of Greenville.
Do we have the access to the original,
Plans for the ADU?
yes.
It should be attached to that agenda. I'm trying to remember when we saw that.
I only see the one site plan, that's all and
Yeah,
it's
I
only
mean-
two.
No, I mean the agenda.
Oh.
That meeting, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
If you zoom in there, like scrolling.
I mean,
house,
it would,
or you
I mean, if
zoom
this was
into-
something that
Is
they
there a
were
separate
looking
door on
for
the
due
side,
to a parent moving in there or something like that, why didn't they build it over the garage and have the access right at the driveway?
Well, what
Because it's a
this,
single-story garage. It's a,
Can't recall, to be perfectly honest. I know they did go before the commission.
Yeah.
I could certainly get the information for the ADU and the plans for it for the next meeting, but I can't tonight. I apologize. I'm not
Yeah.
sure when it was
Yeah.
first.
Could have been.
I mean, to me, it would have made sense instead of having making a living space over that garage as opposed to just a roof space and having your auxiliary apartment there over that, and then you're not, you didn't cause yourself a hardship by having the access on the complete opposite side of the property and
I would
all that,
yeah,
so.
I would have to think they didn't think it was a hardship at first. I mean, they did the ADU.
Yeah.
And get the,
Well, that's
get
kinda why
the
I'm at.
walkway and come over.
Well, that's why I'm kind of figuring
Or-
what their
or
intent
did-
actually was with it.
Yeah.
or did the use
So.
change? Was a kid living in there and now it's a parent?
Yeah.
Don't know. That, like I said, that's the other side of this.
I believe it was always.
But regardless, I don't think it's a
No,
proper look for
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that's, I mean,
whoever's there. Yeah.
would have liked to have seen at the time that it was,
You shouldn't know that someone has, like my
Yeah.
neighbor behind me.
Yeah,
They
well,
have an
yeah,
ADU, but
exactly.
I don't know he does.
Right,
You know, they
right.
use one driveway they come in on.
but that's kind of like going along with the planning. If you know who's going there, why would you put it as far on the wrong side as
Right.
possible?
Yeah.
Right.
And then cross your fingers that they're gonna say, yeah, no problem, down the road,
Yeah.
that was poor
All right.
judgment on that part, but
Yeah.
that's
One thing
my
I'll
personal
notice that,
opinion, so I can't.
The length of the road, at least loosely based on these maps, are similar to the one we just had.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one consideration.
I wonder if on-street parking is allowed on Green Knoll.
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
It's throughout the town.
Yeah.
Just not overnight parking on the road.
You can park overnight.
I don't think so. I think there's a prohibition
There's
against
not much of anything on
Yeah,
parking on the
I
street.
never heard of
Yeah.
a rule about,
Yeah.
unless
Over-
there's a sign that says that.
I was gonna say, I parked cars overnight.
The only issue
When I
is
used to
like
live by the Y.
storm issues or something. you
Yeah,
know, so-
Yeah, well, I mean,
weather and
winter
stuff like that,
weather.
that's different. If there is, I don't think it's ever been enforced.
Well, no. I'll have to look that
That
up.
goes back to the shores.
Yeah, like I said.
So-
So it's funny how you go to like Westchester, everyone parks on the road, on roads like this at least, but in Connecticut, no one thinks to do that.
That's why we have
Uh,
driveways.
So what does
Right.
the commission think over, I mean, I don't think we should give a positive referral. What would that be called, negative referral? I mean, what is it normally called?
I would say that.
Decline to
or
give a positive referral.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
decline it.
I think, don't we have to make a motion in a positive and then vote on it in a negative?
No.
No? All right.
Since it's a recommendation, we don't have to vote on anything.
No, we do,
we
we
do.
do have to,
We do
we have to
have to-
provide a response. We
Yeah.
do, you have to do that.
We have to give a referral, but,
You can give I believe you can give a negative referral to a.
Yeah, I
it's a
think we can,
referral As
yeah.
long as you state.
Why?
Why.
We do
Yeah.
have to have, yeah,
Yeah.
we have to justify it.
okay.
Mhm.
I don't know, what do the other commissioner members feel about this? Are we,
Like you said, it doesn't fit the neighborhood.
I think it's,
The biggest concerns that we have.
I think it's opening the door to a
Yes.
problem down the road potentially.
yeah. And I think it's test cases like this for the Board of Selectmen that will help us define regulations for driveway cuts for single-family homes that don't exist now. All right, so it would be
I mean, what we would put in a regulation, we probably would need to have more discussion.
yes.
Yes.
We don't have the
yeah,
benefit of something that
absolutely.
exists right now,
No,
2.2.
no. We just have what the subdivision regulations are, why they exist, and then kind of make them more generic. So, I'll take a motion to,
I wonder if we could just say simply that the case for an additional curb cut is not justified or supported in some manner.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what you just said is
Yeah.
fine. It's not,
Yeah.
it's, the case for it is not justified.
so, a motion to provide a negative referral for this second driveway cut on 36 Green Knoll
Yep.
Drive, because,
It is not related to safety, and it's not related to, you know, that's really the main
Yeah,
thing
the
too,
case
is
for
that
the-
there's
for-
no safety case for it.
and it changed, and it
Sets a precedent for
it
ADU.
doesn't maintain the single-family residence that an ADU is supposed to
Yeah.
preserve. It
Yes,
doesn't preserve.
exactly.
Did you get that, Elizabeth?
It's not related to safety, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
That was cold.
A negative referral for a second driveway cut on 36 Greenwood Knoll because we found that it did not meet.
Or we cannot support.
We cannot
We cannot
support,
support a second curb cut.
Yeah.
Because it,
The case for it is not.
case is not strong enough, and it works against maintaining a residential feel for an ADU in a residential zone.
It's interesting. That's actually the loop is one way. I didn't know
yes.
that.
Oh, so that's the motion.
I make the
Second.
motion.
Tony makes a
I'll make the
motion, Greg
motion.
seconds it. Any discussion on the further? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
As
Okay,
stated,
it's
yes.
unanimous. Oh, you say what?
All in favor as you stated it.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
We're not saying that we approve.
No, yes.
Yep.
We approve the motion to deny.
To
All right.
not recommend.
It's late, so I'm just going to have you, I put together the last thing on the agenda was regulation changes for special session Public Act 25-1. And we don't have to go through all tonight. I'll just talk about the rationale I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 changes to sections, and there's the ones we found in the Public Act 25-1 that pertain to a July 1st deadline were middle housing, which is defined as 2 through 9 units. You know, kind of overlaps with multifamily development. Parking regulations and establishment of traffic mitigation districts. And finally, summary reviews and what the heck is one. So that's what this regulation goes over, and then all the details are below about what those are and what the changes would be.
How is this written, or just how did this come to be?
This came
as
to,
it's written?
so it came to be, I was working with Laura. Laura had gotten a lot of information from the various the COGS and I guess mostly that, other information from other towns writing the regulations, sort of, and I think our COG gave us some
All
ideas.
of the COGS pretty much work together for
Yeah.
an overview on what needed to change in the zoning regs, depending on the town, in order to comply with the new state law that goes into effect on July 1st.
Yeah.
Going backwards.
And so Laura and I sat down after I looked, and she looked through it already. I looked through this Public Act, and it has like 51 sections. Sections 1 through 22 are the ones that pertain to us, and just a few of them actually have this deadline. Some of the other ones don't. So when we boiled that down and looked at our regs to see, okay, these are the things we have to do by July 1st, and look at what's the effect on the regs that we have now. These are the sections I identified, Laura and I identified, and then we worked up some verbiage to satisfy the state law for the July 1st.
The 800 square feet.
So you can't have a minimum floor space. For
No, I
instance.
got that, but.
That's what it is now.
Is it 8?
Yeah, 800, yes, max.
Okay, because I thought the ADU was slightly larger than that, or maybe
No.
it's smaller.
Just
Okay.
to step back and keep an eye on the timetable that's here. What's
Yeah.
our plan of attack to accomplish this goal? And I think this probably requires additional discussion and
Yeah.
review and
Oh, yeah.
all that, right?
So we have to work backwards from the July 1st date. You know, it takes what,
35 days to.
35. So we're.
So
up
is
to-
this it, what it is, or is there more review and more discussion that should
I
take
think
place?
what we want to do is
Set a public
let you guys look
Well, I
at
was gonna
this.
say,
start
do we need to
a
review this a little more, or do we need a subcommittee to look at this a little more as a
I
commission?
think we could.
Or are we already, you feel we're already there?
I think it's not that many changes,
Okay.
luckily.
It looks more intimidating than it actually is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've already gone,
I deal with
I
terrorism
read through it
today, this
already.
is easy.
Oh, easy. Do you want to vote
So,
tonight?
actually,
No, I shouldn't say that.
So, there's no application, of
Yeah.
course, but the question is, we could put an application and then discuss the language in the public hearing to form it up in order to get us to that finish line. And so then I guess I have to sit with Laura and work the schedule and say, are we gonna make it
No.
based on?
If we don't set it tonight, I can answer that right now.
Oh, all right.
If we don't set a public hearing for an application that we haven't actually, if we take the verbiage and you give somebody the right to fill out the application and
Yeah.
form for the zoning commission.
Yep.
Then I think we will. We need 35 days to notify the COGS. 7 days after we receive it, we have to notify surrounding towns. If you noticed in your informal today, we just got new towns.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
doing the same exact thing.
Mhm.
So it's not particularly surprising. I think you can, with all text amendments, you can remove language. However, if you actually look at the housing bill, I think you'll realize that there's nothing that we put in this text that is not required, that pretty much this state took away from local zoning regs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's to the minimum. So we could set the public hearing tonight and then go through that public hearing process to discuss it. By the way, Tom Beecher did look at all this, made some edits.
Right, okay.
So we have the legal.
To make
lines
sure
on
it
this.
actually does meet the state requirements. We got there.
So we would need, I guess what I'm thinking is, do we as a commission, we just received this now,
Yeah.
right? Do we need, I feel like I'd like some more time to digest this.
Yes.
in case there's anything we want to adjust before we set the public hearing. That's what I'm
So then we
asking.
could go,
And do we have the time to
Do we
do
have
all
the
of
luxury
this?
of time?
Yeah,
will you
yeah.
make the timeline? Probably not, but
Okay.
I'm sure we will not be the only town that doesn't make the timeline.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, but my suggestion for the commission is while we are working on the regs, if something that comes in that falls under these new categories that are things that we haven't addressed, we should really not look solely at our zoning regulations, but look at the state statute as it is written, so
Mhm.
for middle housing. And I
Right.
think as long as we have that understanding, not that the laws have changed and the
Yes.
state laws trump our zoning rules, that
Mhm.
I think if we're a little late,
We won't
they
be
haven't
penalized.
issued any kind of penalties
Right. As
associated
long as they're not
with
really
that
late,
statute,
right?
yeah, or with that.
Or,
So my thought was that we could look at the language and then set the public hearing at our next meeting.
Okay.
And we'll be late, that way you guys can look at it, digest it, and if you want, you can try to, I can send out the Public Act 25-1 with, I have bookmarks, so you can see, okay, what are each of these sections? And because there's 51 of them,
Yeah,
it's just
I
crazy.
think we wanna say, well, the law says this, so we did that, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
so I have a question.
Mhm.
Could we set the public meeting so it's on the books for 2 meetings out to where we have
So
the
we have
next
to have the
meeting?
language to send out.
Okay,
If we
that's
don't
fine.
have the language.
No, that's fine,
That's why.
I was looking to set the meeting without that, okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
It's a little tricky, you
Yeah.
know,
That's right.
they wanna,
It's like they want words,
Yeah.
the words we wanna go with. So,
but I think as long as you do that, we should
Mhm.
be okay.
Okay. And you know what, having that also may help us explain it to the public
Correct.
as well.
yeah, oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
So,
Because some of these things like middle housing and you have to allow middle housing in any commercial district. This is what I mentioned before, like in the marine commercial,
Mhm.
you have to allow middle housing, 2 to 9 units. And so this is where I brought the possibility, someone might say, hey, I gotta buy down the hatch and put up some
Yes,
high-end.
and I agree, like I said, that's
That's
exactly
what the
what I would
state
expect.
law now
Yeah.
allows.
Right.
So,
As long as if any applications come before us, we just kind of consider them while we work on our regs.
yeah.
Which we're gonna do very quickly, right?
Yes.
Well, you see that the person asked about A30G.
yes.
Now, I wasn't, so they're already thinking that, well, if I don't wanna do mixed use,
Right.
maybe A30G is the avenue just to do
Or
regular
building
housing.
height.
Right.
But A30G is affordable, so, was
30%.
I misunderstanding her? She's talking about very high-end,
She was talking
Unit?
about,
Well, she said high end, and then she went,
she went like $3-4 million,
Right.
yeah, it's
And
like,
then
well, that's
dropped.
not affordable.
right,
I don't think anybody
I think she was just
in that
trying
price
to throw everything
bracket's
at the
gonna take
wall and
Yeah.
see
a
what
drive on
sticks.
that
Yeah.
section of
no,
road and be
No.
like, I'm not paying that for.
Yeah.
but
for
that,
road.
you bring up a good point with this middle family,
Middle housing.
middle housing. You could do, and again, what's the density considered on that?
Oh,
I-
yeah.
I build a building that I can do 3 to 9, and then I build another one,
2 to 9.
or I'm sorry, 2 to 9, 3 to 9, I'm sorry, one off. 2 to 9, and then the next building is 2 to 9,
only per lot.
Per lot.
but I can what's to say,
Can you?
don't subdivide the property?
Well, there's some, see,
Subdivision
we have rules,
regulations.
yeah.
I'm just-
yeah.
Again, I'm
And
just
then,
saying.
and then there's, in the TCD, we have lot sizes for some stuff. But that's the other interesting thing about middle housing. Multifamily housing is 3 or more, and middle housing is 2 to 9. So it's like, 2 is like a multifamily.
It's like 6.
Duplex.
It's a duplex. It's very strange. I don't know why they did it that way. That's the state. So, yes, please look this over, and let me send out the Public Act 25-1 to everybody with the bookmarks.
Should we draft an application for the next meeting
Yeah.
to vote on?
Yep. I'll send you the Word document, so you can put it on your official,
My official form?
yes, your official form. I was just used to this one.
And will we get something that will say the law, the rule
rationale
says this,
behind
yes, yes. Are we to evaluate it? Assuming there is one.
I put a
No.
Well, the sections are cited, but if we
The
can.
sections are cited.
if
And
we
the
can just-
rationale's right there.
If you can just actually tag the,
Oh, so
in
when
there would be great. as
what I
opposed to
did
just
was for
citing them.
each type, I like changes related to summer review, those are together. Middle housing, that's.
Yeah, no, I got that, but if we can just include the language of each section, it's very much, a lot easier to.
Oh, you
spot.
mean the actual 25-1. It's
Well,
interesting
each-
because Tom
each thing
wanted
that
me
you're bringing
to
up.
put references back to the new state statutes, and trying to read the Public Act.
Exactly.
I mean, the way they format is just horrible. I'd like to welcome Laura's intern. This is-
Who stuck it out for a very long
I was
time.
gonna say, I'm
at the
impressed.
zoning meeting. I'm actually very impressed.
That's only because you didn't tell him to leave yet.
all to be
He was waiting for that.
So based on that, does anybody have any comments, seeing as how late it is?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, thank you, Tony. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor of
Yes.
adjourning? Say
Aye.
aye.